you doing? We're doing great over here today. Feeling pretty good today. I get a day off tomorrow, y'all, so I get to chill tonight. It's a good day. It's a good night. But I be feeling pretty dang good. But yeah, we're back. We're gonna play some more Our Life because, dude, this is so cute. I love this game so much. It's such a cute game. And I wanted to play it again, so yeah. Sorry, my hair's like caught in the neck of my shirt. Like, I can feel it. I'm like, get out of there. But yeah. Oh my god, if you were here for yesterday, oh my god. I had so many tech issues. But my mic is working now. I can see that it's moving. Like the sound bar. So I know y'all can hear me. I hope. Because yesterday I was, 25 minutes into my stream playing Genshin Impact for the first time. 30 minutes in, I realized I had no audio from my mic. So I unlisted that real fucking quick. So you cannot see the VOD on my channel. Sorry, but I was so embarrassed. I was like, I've been streaming for 20 minutes, and you can literally, I looked back at the video, you can see my mouth moving and me being like, and there was no audio. How fucking embarrassing. I was so embarrassed. I was like, somebody just take me now. But, you know. I have to have my water today. I'm literally like not drinking enough water, and I'm like, girl, you need to be drinking something. Alright. Well, let us continue, because I'm excited for this. I want them to get to adulthood. Okay, so we left off last time. But where were we at? I'm trying to remember where I was last time. No. Yeah, no. I remember. Hang on. The brain's working. The wheels are turning. We were with Cove's mom. That's right. She showed up because he's supposed to go hang out with her for the summer. The mom came to him this time to stay with her ex. Little messy. But poor Cove is dragged into the middle of that. And now we are on a lunch date with the two of them. Because she just invited us and Cove was like, you're coming. Don't want to be with this hoe alone. Valid. Okay. Sorry, every time I lean, my cord gets caught and it pulls down on my ear, and I'm like, oh, all right. Thought I was getting a hiccup. No, I'm good. Okay. The walk was about 15 minutes, and along the way, Kira asked a lot of questions about the area. Cove was quiet most of the time, so you end up answering her instead. Kira explained that she lived in a large city, and she loved how peaceful and relaxing everything seemed in Sunset Bird. Dude, small town ain't always it. I'll tell you that. Small town ain't always it. Did I just see... Am I seeing this correctly? Did you really just join? Oh my god! We've been blessed tonight. Are you here? I see you. I think you're here. I don't know, she might be here. She might have left. She's in the wrong chat. She's usually on Twitch, not on TikTok. The restaurant was busy as usual, but luckily you were shown right to the small table. Dude, I can't even imagine how painful it is to get a tattoo right there. Absolutely not. I've thought about doing like a sternum piece, and I have too many people who have spine and sternum pieces, and they're like, don't do it, girl. You've gotten the back of your knee done. Don't put yourself through hell again. I've thought about it, but you never know. Because I know it's right on that bone. No. Kira loaded herself into a chair, while Cove picked one diagonal. Oh my god. It starts again where I cannot speak. While Cove picked the diagonal one to her. That took a lot to come out. Not facing her or to her side. It was awkward. Let's see. To start, what would you like to drink? I'll get an orange soda. That scared me. coffee at my small age. We're still what, supposed to be like, I think we're in like preteen stage, so we're like what, 13? Because it goes through every step, like stage of your life. So it goes from childhood, young adult, or adolescence, young adulthood, and then you become a full-grown adult. So girl, coffee at, my parents let me have decaf until I became older. What are you talking about? I'll take soda. Which flavor? Oh my god. And I gotta pick that too? Hey, cold is the best, I'm just saying. Kira placed the order for your drinks, getting a black hot coffee for herself. It didn't take long before they were brought to the table and set right in front of you. You took a long sip of your drink as you looked around the restaurant. Your small group checked over the menus, deciding what to order. The last time you came here, the dish you ordered was amazing. You wanted to order something different this time. Kira and Cove didn't need any encouragement for this. They were totally focused on the information in front of them. Soon the meals, too. Oh my god. See, I usually can speak. I do apologize. Good lord. Actually, no, I can't. Y'all know me. When I play Love in Deep Space, I'm like tripping over my words every 5 seconds. Soon the meals, too, were ordered and the menus taken away. You glance at the table surface, waiting to figure out what to say. Sorry, I hate that I can't hear myself out of my other ear. I need to hear how loud I am. I have a tendency to speak louder than I probably should. So, Cove sunk back further into his seat and avoided eye contact. He started to twiddle his thumbs while acting like this was all perfectly normal. His sour feelings today were unignorable. Instead of asking more open questions, he'd brush off. Kira had mercy on her son and instead put her focus towards you. What's a few things that you're into? There's got to be something you do for fun, especially now that you're not buried in school assignments. Oh my god, they gave me endless options. I do like to read. Y'all know me, I like my books. I like to watch. Hang out with people. I'm really into Cove. Girl, not yet. Not yet. I like to read, that's my thing. They knew me too well. I haven't heard of that style, but I'm sure it's very good. Girl, you don't even want to know what I read. It put you in a damn coma, I'll just tell you that right now. And no, put and. I'm really into Cove. Kira let out a sudden laugh and Cove gasped beside you. It was dramatic enough to oh my god. Holy shit. It was a dramatic enough inhale that he almost choked on the soda. You shrugged at the reaction. It was a truthful answer to the question. Oh, Cove whispered at you disapprovingly, obscuring part of his face with his hand. No! But Kira only waved it off and encouraged you to go on. We spend time together when we can. I like it. Well, we have something in common. Girl. Why'd you say it like that? Kira smiled at Cove, who didn't look too impressed by either of you at that moment. Oh, I'm so sorry, homie. I like to watch stand-up comedy. I am a theater kid. Shut up. That's very interesting. That's what you say to somebody to get them to shut the fuck up. That's what you say. That's what adults say to children, to be like, that's so interesting. That's so cool. And it's like, in the head, it's like, I don't give a fuck. Oh, why'd you say that to me? Man, I am interesting. I like to watch people. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, I do that. Music. I dig music. I'll put that. Type in your own instrument to play. I listen to a lot of it. I have an MP3 player at my home that my mom helped me put some music on, and I've been seeing some concerts. Girl, me. Awesome. And games are fun. I like to play video games. I don't know very much about them. Maybe you can show me sometime. No, I'm not into sports. Girl, what? Nope. I'm not into sports. Do I look like I'm into sports? No. I do spend time on art. I create digitally. Hey. Fun fact about me. My computer at home doesn't really have all the programs I need. And you didn't say anything else. I'm happy to learn more about you. There's so much I hadn't heard. Cove leaves the details out. Oh my god. My mother. My mother and I are planning on getting, like, tattoos and stuff. And oh my god. Sorry, 1 second. My mother, of course, is texting me. So obviously me being like pretty much almost covered on my extremities, meaning my arms and my legs. I haven't started on my back yet. My mom and I are getting matching tattoos to do like a memorial tattoo, you know? And we're not getting matching. I mean, I guess we're getting memorial tattoos together. They're not going to be matching though. Because I want something different. She's doing like a script writing and something, and I'm getting like a locket with like me and like the person in it, you know. But I'm like I'm you know, kind of pretty much covered on my arms and my legs. I don't really have much real estate left on my arms and my legs, and I've had a full blown like leg sleeve, top of the thigh, top of the knee, side of my leg, back of my knee, back of my thigh. Like it goes all the way up to my hip, all the way down to my ankle. So, and it's full color. So like I've sat through 10-hour sessions. I'm not to toot my own horn, but I am pretty proud of that because I'm very much a squeamish chicken when it comes to needles. Tattoos I can sit through like a champ. But we're going and getting our tattoos done together, and my mom's like, oh my god, I'm really nervous. Like, is it gonna hurt? Meanwhile, homegirl, her first and only tattoo has been on the top of her foot. Full color and everything. Like, the top of her foot, she's got, like, this piece, like, yay big, on that bone part of your foot. And she's like, I'm scared it'll hurt. Girl, I won't even touch my foot. Are you kidding me? I don't even think I'm ever going to get anywhere near my foot. I don't think I ever want a hand or foot tattoo because I'm so scared of the pain alone. I think they're so cute. Would kill. I am not a fan of pain. In that kind of sense. The back of my knee enough was so brutal. So brutal. I'm good. I'm good. Top of my shoulder right here on that bone. I'm set, chief, actually. I'm okay. I'm never going to branch my sleeve ends, my half sleeve ends like right in here. I will never do the underneath. No. I know the pain. I'm so set, actually. So she's like talking to me about the pain scale, and I'm like, it's not going to be bad. It's not going to be bad. I have writing and words on the exact same area. You'll be just fine. And she's like, I don't know. So she's like looking it up on the internet, like, how painful is the outer forearm? I'm like, girl, you'll be just fine. I promise you. Don't freak yourself out, because if you freak yourself out, you won't go. So she's like freaking out. She's like, I don't know if I should get that tattoo. I'm like, you do. You want it. You should. You will. We'll go. You'll have fun. It'll be a great time. Shoots me my artist too, who's been tattooing me since I was 18. So I'm like, when worlds collide, it's gonna be great. They are polar opposites. It's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be so much fun. But no, like that would have been so loud if that would have fallen. Holy shit, I'm a klutz. I have my words here, right? I got this done fresh after a breakup. Yeah, this was my crazy, after a breakup tattoo. And honestly, I don't regret it. Most people kind of regret after breakup tattoos. I fucking don't. It says Born This Way. Yeah. And it's literally the exact same font that's on the Born This Way album for Lady Gaga. Obviously, I got it because of the meaning and also because I'm a huge Lady Gaga fan. And the album and the song I Love Alone. But yeah, this was pretty painful because, the letters are so thick and so dark. And it hurt. It hurt. It didn't feel great. It hurt. My mom's like, "What, you said it was like, it hurt, and like, what do you keep saying? It's spicy?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's spicy. You never said that before?" Is that just me? But I'm not gonna lie, sometimes the tattoo pain makes me feel alive. Is that bad? I was like, I found out some things about tattoos. People who keep getting tattoos, it's like a certain form of something else. And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think so. We're going to ignore that I ever heard that. That's not a true thing. That's not a true statement. It's not real. I refuse to believe it. And you can't prove that it's fact to me. And if you do, I'm not looking. The article doesn't exist. Like, you're pulling up AI. That's not real. That's what I'll keep convincing myself to this day. I don't know. People say crazy shit all the fucking time, so who's to say what's true anymore? You know what I mean? But yeah, so she's like texting me, asking me, like, is this gonna be super painful? Girl, you're getting some words, like line work, and a tiny little dainty line work flower. You'll be so sad. You'll be so sad. Meanwhile, I'm planning like a 3x3. I'm like, how big I want this. Like, she's getting something like that big and like that small, like just tiny little thing. Makes me laugh. Me and my mom are polar opposites, though. It's very funny. But I think that's most kids with their parents. Like, I don't know, I always liked the alternative look. All of the tattoos, all the piercings. Like, I would see people like that as a kid and be like, I want to look like them. They look dope. They look super cool. All the artwork on their body, super, super cool. That's why my body has become a live Pinterest board. It's whatever I want. Do I have baby girl Gojo on top of my thigh? Absolutely. I'm going to be 80 years old with Gojo looking up at me. Great times. Do I regret anything? No. Let us continue. So what exactly did Cove save about me? Save about me? Girl, what the flying shit? Kira laughed, holding a hand in front of her mouth. I can't tell you that. I didn't come all this way to embarrass my son. Too much. Kids are delicate at this age. You already said enough. She laughed again, and you glanced at Cove to see his reaction. He was trying not to pay attention, but you could tell he was uncomfortable. She seems like the type of mom that would, like, I don't know, almost like baby or embarrass her son in front of, like, a girl he likes. I don't know. I don't know why moms do that. Boy moms do that. Sometimes I'm like, gross. I'm gonna tell you all one thing. Sorry I keep yapping. Y'all know I love to yap. And also, this is my stream. I can yap all I want, but I'm gonna tell y'all something right here, right now. Dating a man who has a boy mom is not for the weak. It is not. I swear to you, it will bring you a level of rage you will never know that you felt in your body. Why am I competing for your affection with your mother? Let that sink in. Why am I, your partner, your girlfriend, whatever, competing with your mother for your affection? Why is your mom calling us when we're going on a date going, why didn't you invite me? And then anytime he would do something wrong, he never did anything wrong. Let me get that perfectly clear. He never did anything wrong, right? I was the one that did all the wrong things. I did everything wrong. I was the reason that he made every mistake. It's because of me. It's because of me. Yeah. Dating a guy who's a boy mom, never again in my life. Absolutely fucking not. So gross. Couldn't stand it. I'm like, why is your mom always around? Why is she always calling, always texting? Where are you? When are you coming home? What are you doing? What are you guys doing together? And it was always like incriminating. What are you guys doing together? Girl. The umbilical cord was cut a long time ago. And you're just like keeping that rotting piece. It's rotted. Let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of it. I don't know. I don't know why you want to put your own child through that. That's just a icky. Icky. If I ever had a son, absolutely the fuck not. Oh my god, no, please go live your life, experience things. You need a shoulder to cry on, a hand to help you up. Sure, we will be there. It will be a parent, but that's what I am, your parent. Not your best friend and not your girlfriend. That's so fucking weird. I fucking hate that shit. Disgusting. But no, like, I think as an adult, you can become best friends with your parent. Like, you can almost become very close. Like, me and my mom are very close, right? Same thing with me and my dad. I can talk to them about pretty much anything in my life. But, like, that's where it ends, babes. Icky. Or same thing. I think the same thing goes, like, reverse, too, for, like, what is it? Reverse for, like, I've seen it sometimes with dads, too, and I'm like, ugh. But, like, daughters, grody. What the fuck? I don't know, dude. I don't know. That shit weirds me out. And I always sit there and I'm like, what's the psychology behind that? Who made you the way that you are? Who hurt you so much that you need to do that to somebody else? I'm going off on a tangent. Don't mind me. Don't mind me here. But, you know. That's just how it be. Okay. Hoping it would clear some of the tension in the air, you decided to ask Kira a few questions of your own. Oh, shit. Cove hadn't told you much about her, and you were curious to know about this woman who was such a big part of his life. What exactly do you do for work? I'm a travel writer for magazines and things. I keep people in the loop on what's worth seeing. It's good work. That's actually kind of fun. Wow. Are you in a new relationship now? Oh, hell. Why did you guys get divorced? No. What do you like to do? Spend time with my little boy, of course, and traveling a real shock, huh? See, what did I say? I was right. I can spot him a mile away. Where do you live normally? Nevada. Have you ever been there? You shook your head. It's a beautiful place. Check it out if you can. I don't want to ask those. I think Cove will be immediately upset. You can bring yourself to ask another question. It didn't seem to bother her that the conversation dropped. Oh, he's over it. Cove sipped his soda angrily, slurping up the remaining drink with furrowed brows. He looked ready to run straight out of the restaurant. You weren't sure if coming along had ended up making the lunch better or worse. Cove eventually noticed you watching him. It took a couple of moments, but finally he cracked a smile. Oh, what a sweetheart. And that made you feel a little lighter inside. And that's the thing that they'll do. They'll always do that when you guys are together. They'll be like, I'm so sorry, I keep going on this tangent, but this is a topic that I'm very familiar with. They literally, like, will sit there and be like, you guys are so cute together. You guys are going to be so cute when you're married and you have kids. You guys are, like, so cute. But then, like, the minute that you get too close, they're like, hey. Not leave space for Jesus, leave space for mom. Disgust. Cove covered his face with his hands and leaned back in his seat.
Seriously?
He's got that voice. Why would you say that? I'll blush. The way she said that had embarrassed you. You weren't prepared to have Cove's own mother describe the normal interactions the two of you has as cute. Your meals were delivered shortly after that, and everything was so delicious, even Cove enjoyed his food.
Okay.
All right, now that we're all full and content, can you explain, please, why you've had a bug up your butt all day? Oh, that's fucked. That's fucked. I hated whenever my parents would do that. And they've only did it a couple times because I'd be like, why do you have to talk to me like that? And they're like, you're right, that's kind of wrong. But it's like the whole thing of like, you're enjoying your day and you're kind of in an off mood. And they're like, okay, so what, crawl up your ass and die? I'm allowed to have emotions and moods and feelings. Yeah, that changed real quick. Cove's face scrunched at that. Grody. Seriously, baby, what did mom do to make you this mad? So gross. I haven't even been around a full day yet. He gripped the edge of the table, refusing to make eye contact. The words he spoke were barely audible over the din of the restaurant. You could have told me. She leaned forward, not to miss anything else, eyebrows raised. Told you what? He finally seemed to find his voice and spoke the thoughts that had been on his mind. That I wasn't going to visit you this year, that you were going to be coming instead. Didn't you invite me? You wanted me here with you? Cove's eyes began to shake, and his frustration ebbed. I do want to be around you, but I didn't know it'd be like this. It's not the same, and nobody said anything.
I see.
Oh, she immediately got pissy. Her expression grew tense. She threaded her fingers together and placed her hands in front of her on the table. We've both been gifted another Clifford surprise. Referring to that as a Clifford surprise almost caused both of you and Cove to crack a smile. You had almost no idea his name wasn't just Cliff. Over 5 years, nobody had ever called him Clifford until now. Oh! She smoothed her hair out, not letting go of her stern look. The more things change, the more they stay the same. They let out identical sighs, but smiled weakly at one another afterwards. I can go home, Cove. We can still set up a normal trip to my place before the summer ends. Oh, so the dad did it. Oh, okay. Cove's lips tightly closed together. He seriously pondered the option. I think I do want you to stay. I miss it when you're not there. My heart. Oh, girl. She reached across the gap, grabbed his face, and planted a kiss on his cheek. Cove tried to wiggle away. Mom, stop. I'm sorry. Sweet young men need to be smooched by their parents. Girl, what the fuck? If I don't, they'll take away my mom license. Girl, you shouldn't have been given a mom license. That shit needs to be revoked. That shit needs to be revoked immediately. Don't think I didn't just see you pop in. I'll see you. You're in the wrong chat. Oh, I'm so dead. Kira was completely enthused by Cove's admission, though a tone of seriousness did return to her voice, and the conversation continued. Do you want to talk to your dad too? No. Oh. Wait. Scary. Cove had snapped the word instantly, but reeled his annoyance back just as quickly. Maybe later, not today. I understand. We can shelve it. Thanks, Mom. Thanks for talking to me, little mister. Girl, what? She grinned affectionately at him before turning your way. And thank you. Huh? What did I do? It's easy to act like a baby with your mom. It's harder to keep that up with your neighbor watching everything. Especially when you really care about what said neighbor thinks of you. Oh, she winked. Oh, no. Mom. She just ruffled his hair with a laugh and then moved her hand down to tap the end of his nose. I just don't like her. I just don't like the mom. And that was how the issue was resolved, at least between Cove and his mom. When the three of you left the restaurant and Kira had paid the bill, you walked back to the neighborhood slowly. You had eaten so much by that time you were beginning to feel sleepy. It didn't help that the lunch had happened late and the sun was already beginning to descend from the sky. I forgot how fine his dad is. I'm so sorry, look at those pretty locks. But eventually you reached the street. Someone was there to greet your group upon arrival. Welcome back, family. And Peachy too. I'm here. Cliff. Dad. Oh, he's like, what the fuck did I do? Oh no. Somebody get this man. The two walked past him into the condo without sparing another word. Despite the summer heat, their shoulders were cold. Why'd he laugh like that? Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. He rubbed the back of his neck with a crooked smile, but his eyes were soft as he looked on after them. He's so much like his mom, don't you think? He gave a vague nod, not sure what he was expecting you to do. He nodded back far more energetically. Okay, have a nice night. You too, Mr. Holden. With that, Cove's dad disappeared to join the others inside. It was your turn to go home now. Summer hadn't started off at all how you imagined it would, though it turned out to set the tone well. Having Kira in the neighborhood was a new experience for not only you and Cove, but also for your families, and a dull moment was rarely had. Ooh, what are we gonna do? Growing. What does that mean? Road trip. Road trip. We're gonna take a road trip. Even though you were awake, the sun had barely peeked its head above the horizon, and the sky above was still dark, though lightning by the minute. Ugh, words are terribly hard. Usually you wouldn't be up so early, especially during summer vacation, but today it was different. Today, instead of the lazy days you were used to, everything around you was a flurry of activity as both your family and Cove's prepared for what lay ahead. Because parked in the street just outside your house was a massive RV camper, so big you couldn't even see Cove's house behind it. His parents had rented an RV for a few days to take him on a short road trip to see the Redwood National Park. You glanced at Cove, who was standing nearby in the seat taking in the scene in front of him. The prospect of the trip had been mixed bag for him, but it was only 3 days, so it seemed like he was dealing with it the best he could, especially now that you and your family were joining them. You weren't exactly sure how it happened. You knew your parents and Cove spoke to each other often, and somewhere along, plans were made after Cliff offered to share the space. The parents all thought it was a fantastic idea. You had already gotten a good look inside while helping to load everything in, and you had to admit, well, it was a really big car. Fitting that many people was going to be a snug.
Let's go.
Move it or lose it, kiddo. Mom bustled past with a cooler in one hand and a large bottle of water in the other. She was upbeat for this early in the morning. That would be me. Actually, no, it depends on where we're going. If we're going to a theme park, I'm up in 2 seconds flat. Like, I'm up in 2 freaking seconds flat. I'm jumping to my feet. I'm awake. I have risen. Any other time, I'm like, no. But vacations and shit, yeah, dude. I'm up at the butt-ass crack of dawn. My alarm hasn't even gone up yet, and I'm like waking up with the freaking, sun at that point. Actually, no, I'm waking up before the sun. The sun is after me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like sitting up, arms crossed, like waking up like Dracula at that point. It's a great time. Any other time, don't wake me up. I'm not very kind. I hate to admit it, but I'm not the nicest person in the morning. I'm a night owl for sure. Ma, however, seemed to be on the other side of the wavelength. She followed behind her wife, dragging her feet on every step. I'm gonna need a whole jug of coffee once we hit the road. You felt like you were in the middle ground. Yeah. You just tried to keep up and took in some deep breaths. The air was still a little damp from dew, but you didn't mind it. This sister. And then at the end of the chain came your sister. She had a bone to pick before the trip officially started. Her rattling off her critiques added some level of normalcy to everything new going on. I don't get why I can't sleep in the bed tonight. Oh my god, she's the youngest and I'll never fall asleep in that loft. Girl! We're trying to make things fair on everyone. If you want to play the older card, you should just be offering to take the loft both nights. It's important for big siblings to make sacrifices for their younger ones. Elizabeth huffed, not very happy with that answer in the slightest, and folded her arms, leaning back against the side of the RV. The trip plans had been nailed down prior, the sleeping arrangements included. Elizabeth still had held on to her objections with them. There was a main area of the RV with a couch, loft, and some floor space. At the end of the car was a room with a large bed. Your moms were sharing the bed, Kira was on the couch, and father and son intended to sleep on the floor. The adults determined you and Elizabeth would switch between the small loft above the driver's seat and sharing the beds with Mom. Honestly, dude, I've slept in an RV before that had a loft up there. Very nice. But waking up in the morning, absolute freaking hell if you park on the wrong side. We learned that real quick the one time I slept in an RV. We parked where the sun would rise, so that there was like a, like a moon roof or whatever the fuck. That fucking sun beat. Oh, I woke up drenched. I was like, dying. We were in the desert too. It was no freaking fun. I had no fun. I was like, I hate this shit. Everyone was like, it's so much fun. Are you having fun? I'm like waking up, like peeling myself off the mattress, just like, like dying. They're like, oh my god, we forgot to put the curtains up. Yeah, no shit. And I'm dying. And it's like, cold at night. And then like 70, 80 degrees. At this time in the morning, I'm dying. It was horrid. Oh, yeah, it's unfair that Cove had to sleep on the floor. After all, it was supposed to be a trip for him and his family before yours ended up coming along too. Now he had been kicked out of every bed-like space and put on the floor. Yeah, that's kind of fucked. There had been another way to organize things, so it was better for him. Or there had to be another way to organize things, so it was better for him. Cove and I could share the loft. When I'm up there, I don't mind making room for him. He took a glance over at Cove. It would be fun to have a little sleepover, just the two of you.
No.
Okay. The loft is too tiny for 2 people, even if those people are teens. The last thing we need is one of you rolling off and crushing poor Cliff beneath you, who will take his driving shifts. He's driving? Oh, the dad. Cliff, my God. Whoops. The three other parents all laughed at your mom's joke. Cove simply shrugged with a relaxed smile, and you sighed as you were forced to admit defeat. All right, you lot. Does everyone have everything they need? We're heading off in 5 minutes. Now's the time to double check. You don't want to forget something important. God, she's still so fine. At the word, Elizabeth yelped and dashed into the house, her bedhead hair bouncing behind her as she went. Ma came over and gave you a smile, setting her hands on her hips. Don't give me that look, girl. How about you? Do you have all your clothes packed, toiletries, deodorant, floss, anything else you can think of? Give her a flat look. I love just deadpan, just... You were confident you had it all. Wanting to make sure everything was organized and ready to go, you had packed the night before and set your alarm too. I'm that person that I overpack. I would rather be packing like way too much and have too much than have not enough and I'm fucked. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't pack just right. I overpack. And every time, I'm just fine, dude. I have like, you know, I go on a 3-day trip and I'm packing like 6 outfits. I like to mix and match. You never know. You know what I mean? What if we do something spontaneous and I'm like, shit, I don't have an outfit for that. That way I do. You know? Yep, I'm good. That's great. We'll have to wait for the ones who aren't as organized, and we'll be heading off shortly. With a few minutes left to spare before leaving, you mentally went over what you had packed for the trip. Clothes, a pillow and blanket, usual day-to-day gear for most people. You had also... you also had more personal things, such as... I need music. With so much time spent... Oh my God, holy shit. With so much time going to be spent driving in a car, you wanted to make sure you'd be able to have some music to put on. No, dude, if I don't have music on a car ride, death. I'm dying. I've done oh my God, holy shit. I've done a 24-hour car drive. We've talked about this before. Top of the US, bottom of the US. If I didn't have music, I honestly think that I would have gone absolutely batshit insane. Or just even a podcast, something to keep my mind moving, because looking straight ahead at just a plain road, I was like, all right, I'm over this shit. Let's see, a couple things to read. I can't read in the car though, I get so motion sick. You had packed one of your old favorites and a new one you'd never tried before. You know you'd had plenty of time for both on such a long car drive. I mean, maybe in like an RV. I don't remember if when we drove in the RV, I like read. I can't remember if I did or not. But dude, reading in a car, I vomit. It's horrible. A portable gaming console. Hell yeah, give me my Switch or something. The drive to the Redwood National Park would take an entire day one way, so you wanted to make sure you had a way to entertain yourself while traveling there and back. And she can play with Cove. Favorite stuffed animal. Without fail, it always made you feel more comfortable whenever you went somewhere new. It was like taking a little piece of home away with you. That was everything. Hey, let me take that for you. It'll stow in the RV. There's a few spots left that'll fit. You let Kira take your bag and gave her a grateful smile. With nothing left to do, you watched the others getting ready for the trip. Can you imagine going on a trip with your ex? No, ma'am. Kira and Cliff seemed to have the most energy of anyone. They were finishing packing the suitcases away while your moms had gone up to lock the house. They high-fived whenever another one got one crammed into the storage compartments of the vehicle. Even though your own parents were more low-key than Cove's, you could tell they were both excited for the trip. It had been a while since your family had been away anywhere together. Elizabeth skipped towards the RV, a bag slung over her shoulder, and you were surprised to see she seemed more optimistic about the whole ordeal now. Usually she wasn't one to exit the confines of her room unless it was for TV or food or to leave the family behind to be with friends. You would have thought 3 whole days packed in an RV with 6 others would be too much for her, but it was a nice surprise. You supposed any vacation was better than no vacation in her mind. Cove had been pretty quiet so far, and more than anything seemed to be overwhelmed by the situation. Honestly, I get that. I'm always eager to get to the destination. I hate the drive. I love when we get to the destination. You'd been looking at the park online and couldn't wait to explore everything it had to offer. Soon the miscellaneous remaining tasks had all been wrapped up. Oh shit. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that's what our RV looked like when I literally landed. Golly. Loft and all. Most RVs look like that though. But I've been in RVs and campers recently, dude. See, I went in an RV in like 2009, 2010, you know what I mean? Now, especially the nice ones, like I've gone in them, like I've never been able to go in one for a trip. I've just like seen new ones, you know, like on the lot or something. Holy shit. Campers and RVs are like tiny homes now on wheels. It's insane what they've got in there. I'm like, what the fuck? There's like Wi-Fi and shit in them now, like all these things. I'm like, dude, we didn't have like TV and cable and shit like that. Like I had to have my little like pop-up TV like movie player that I had a whole like like what is it, like a booklet almost of CDs. Am I showing my age? I'm not even that old. I'm in my 20s. But like, you know, you flip through the CDs or whatever, and then I'd be like, I think I want that one. You have to like open it up and like put the CD and like start it, you know what I mean? Like that's what I had to keep myself entertained. You know, or like my parents would be like, okay, we're gonna go to freaking, oh my god, dude, showing my age again, going to Blockbuster, and we're gonna rent movies. So you can rent like 3 or 4 movies in like one kind of more expensive one that like just came out that you haven't seen yet, and like a couple in like the discount section or whatever that have been out for a while that you haven't seen yet, you know? You can go pick those and you can watch it. So it's a new one, so you're not watching the same thing over and over again, but like you lose that, like you're fucked. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, dude, I remember that shit. Golly. Now road trips are just so easy. Everyone piled into the RV. It was officially time for the trip to start. And it did. Cliff took the first shift driving. He cautiously navigated the massive car to the narrow neighborhood streets. It was touch and go for the first part of the journey. Your moms and Kira were all huddled at the front, trying to get a view of how much space they had on each side. There was a sense of relief when the first long leg of the trip was hit, and the RV would only need to go down one stretch of highway for miles. The mom group cleared out of the driver's area, leaving Cove's dad to it, taking more comfortable seats around the main cabin. He felt like he could finally relax now, too. Time slipped away as morning faded away. Before you realized it, the engine of the RV came to a stop, but only halted for a few moments as Cliff climbed out from the driver's seat and Mom took over. Ma was sitting shotgun, giving Mom a quick tutorial on the controls, as it was her first time driving anything this large. Cliff groaned as he headed towards the rest of you, stretching his arms above his head and loosening up his muscles. Good Lord have mercy. We're making good progress. Yeah, maybe you should take a nap in the back for a while. That was a long haul you just did, and I know you're on less sleep than usual. Cliff waved a hand, that trademark grin. Oh my god, of his slipping into place. Holy shit. I don't need sleep. I've got a few more miles in the old tank. Sir. He flexed an arm, showing off his muscles. Why does he always do that? To drive the point about how resilient he was home, and Kira rolled her eyes in amusement. Dad, everybody has to sleep. Cove shook his head at the tough guy act, though Cliff simply chuckled and ruffled his son's hair.
So?
Are you going to be driving again anytime soon, Mr. Holden? I want to know so I can prepare. Did anyone pack some rope? I might need it. There's no seatbelts up here. Girl. Elizabeth called down from where she was lounging in the loft above the driving compartment. No, that was the best place to drive, like to sit when you drive. It was so fun because then you can like watch and like see from up high. Dude, it was the best. Or like laying in the bed. I liked that because I was like, dude, I can actually like stretch out. Like I can actually stretch out and feel nice and move around. She was laying on her back, her hair falling over the side and swinging around as the RV started up again and took off down the road. A bag of potato chips was balanced on Elizabeth's stomach, and she tossed a couple into her mouth right as Cliff held a hand out to his chest. Pretending to be offended by the remark, Kira laughed lightheartedly.
Don't worry about that.
Luckily for all of us, we have enough adults to cover the shifts today. He won't be driving again until tomorrow. Oop. She got his ass. We'll just stay quiet. You didn't have anything to add to the conversation, but it was pretty funny all the same. Mom then shifted back to her seat to join in the conversation, a playful smile tilting her lips. What I'm more worried about is this old monster getting us there. and back before falling apart. It looks as though it was built in the early 90s. It must be older than some of the occupants. That's just the aesthetic of the decor. It's not that old, I think. Did you ask what year the model was before you rented it? Kira wrinkled her nose and thought. Yes, I did. I just can't remember what the answer was. Cliff chuckled at her while the rest of you let out a collective sigh. Girl, you taking us on this, like, rickety lemon? Are you kidding me? A family RV trip and a rickety lemon? I'm good. The RV lurched a little as it picked up speed, and you held on to the ladder to the loft to keep your balance. You felt something graze the top of your head before a weight settled on your brown hair. When you tilted your chin up to carefully look, you heard the rustling of a bag of chips and realized Elizabeth had rested the end of it on your head. She gestured to the opening, silently offering to share her snack. We'll take a handful. Reaching up, you scooped up some chips. After the weight of the packet left your scalp. You happily munched away as the conversation continued on. You got closer and closer to destination. The day flew by with the group of you chatting, playing games, and passing the time together before finally arriving at the park and setting up for the night. Ma was closing the windows while everyone got ready for bed, saying goodnight to the others as she made her way to the back room. Oh, dude, how the heck are they, like, having to, like, step outside as everyone, like, showers and shit? I see, that's what I hate, like, going on trips with people you don't really know that well. Like, you always just feel awkward, you know what I mean? You're just like, this is awkward. Like, I have to, like, do, like, domestic things around you, and I don't like that. Such as showering and, you know, I don't know. You see me in my, like, most, what is the word? I don't know, most, like, vulnerable state. I don't really like that. You all had dinner together while still driving, and some hours after you had arrived at your destination and found a spot to park in for the rest of your stay. Giving a look across the front of the RV, you noticed almost everyone there was already dozing off where they were, with Cove having completely fallen asleep, curled up in the passenger seat. Oh, he must have done so while Kira was driving the last leg, and they decided not to disturb him. Kira herself was the only one who was still awake, flipping through a magazine next to a portable light from her spot on the couch. It seemed Mr. Holden needed to sleep despite his claims. You followed your moms to the back room and closed the door behind you before crawling into bed between them. It was a queen-size bed, so there was enough space for the three of you together without too much squishing. Get a good rest. We've got a big day ahead of us tomorrow. I can't talk. I'm looking forward to the bushwalk in the morning. It's been a long time since I was out in nature like this. There will be plenty for us to see. You stayed awake for a little while longer while your moms whispered about the park and the forest in general. With the sound of their voice in the background, eventually you nodded off to sleep. I was going to say, don't whisper over me. That would bug me so much. The next morning, you were up bright and early preparing for the day ahead. We slept well. You'd slept well before you knew it. You had woken up rested. Ma whined a bit at the firmness of the mattress, but Mom had only encouraged her to enjoy the trip while she could. While looking for a spot to get ready, you had some trouble finding a space of your own as the others were doing the same thing. Cove was perched on the top of the counter, brushing his hair and tucking his legs up every time someone wanted to move past. The parents were double-checking and triple-checking that they had everything, to the point where you had to stop listening to them altogether. You knew you would be returning to the RV at all that day, but by the look of the backpacks that were packed up and ready to go, you doubted anything was missing from them. It didn't take much longer until you all exited the RV in a bustle and headed into the Redwood National Park. Wow. Look at him. Cove had his head tilted up towards the canopy of trees, his eyes wide as he took in the massive trunks on either side of you. You knew that the redwood trees were considered the tallest trees on Earth, but you weren't prepared for exactly how huge they would be in person.
Come on.
Smile, you two. Oh no, he said no ma'am. You spun around just in time for Kira to snap a picture of you and Cove together before she pointed her camera at Cliff, trying to get a shot despite his weak protest that she should just enjoy the moment. I don't know about y'all. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I've gotten to a different point in my life that, like, not everything requires a picture. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll go on trips, and I'll take day trips places, and I'll do things like that. And everyone's always like, oh, take pictures. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. I come back, and I have, like, maybe one or two. And people are like, did you even take any pictures? I'm like, no, dude. Like, I'm just not on my phone. Like, I just don't want to be on my phone. I don't know. I've gotten to the point where I don't need to be on my phone and take pictures to prove I was on a trip. Like, I just don't. Like, I enjoy the moment. I have a good time. Oh my god, sorry. I gotta, like, fix my leg. Oh, ow. Like, I just don't need to anymore. I think I've always been that way too. Like, even when people were like all about taking pictures everywhere you go, like, I take a little bit, but I wasn't like, oh my god, I need to take a picture in front of this. I need to have like a perfect Instagram, whatever the fuck. I didn't give two shits back then. And I still don't. I just don't. I'm like people do like the photo dumps every month, and I'm like, what's that like? I don't take enough photos. Like, I just don't. Plenty of screenshots, usually from my Monwas, but hey, those are for me. No one else needs to see that. That's for me. That's for my personal enjoyment. I pay for those. So if I want a screenshot of how pretty Dan looked in the last chapter, I'll be damned, I'll have it. That's all I'm saying. Or it's like nail art ideas. Or games that I found unintentionally and I'm like, oh, I want to play that on stream. That's usually about it. Or love and deep space photos. I don't want judgment, okay? My phone is filled with Silas. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Are we surprised though? I mean, you can look behind me. Are we shocked? I wouldn't be. Your parents were walking behind the group a little, with Mom telling Ma some information she had read about the park in a brochure. Ma listened happily while looking around and taking in the sights. Every now and then she asked a question or making a joke about something Mom had said. You smiled at them, thinking your mom must have read a lot of pamphlets to know this much about the park. Maybe you should come and work here as a tour guide if you know so much about the place. Oh, that's like a maybe you should take a picture to last longer kind of bullshit. Golly. Elizabeth teased, earning a squeeze in the nose from Mom. She seemed to be enjoying herself, but you thought that might just be because she was amused by everyone else's reactions. I'm yawning. You were embarrassed that the adults were being too touristy. Oh no. I do go places and I hate when anyone, I'm like, I don't hate it. I don't say it. Like, I don't vocalize that. I just sit there and I'm kind of like, it's an internal cringe of like, oh my god, we need to take a photo of this, of this, of this. And I'm just sitting here like, okay. Like, I just let people do it. Obviously, I don't say anything. I don't really like make a face either. I'm just sitting there like, okay. And they'll take their photos and I'm just like, can we keep going? Like, I'm like, I don't need to be doing all this. I don't need to be looking like I don't belong here. I don't want to stick out like a sore thumb. I just don't like attention around me. I just really don't. That's why, like, I'm comfortable streaming because, like, I'm in my own house. Do you know what I mean? I'm in my own environment. Like, there's a camera here, but it's not like people staring at me. You know what I mean? Like, even though people are actively watching, I don't feel the eyes. I'm cool. But other than that, like, I don't like people looking at me. I'm like, don't look at me. Please don't. I'm so sad. Please don't look at me. That's why I always said too, I get proposed to, right? Do not do it in front of other people. I don't want to be the center of attention. Nope. I'm so sad. Thank you though. I'm good. I do not want a whole huge crowd. I like when I see people get like the flash mobs. You remember that was a huge thing back in the day? Fucking flash mobs and shit. Holy fuck. My worst fear. Like, oh my god. If that ever happened to me, I would say no. And they'd be like, what? Why no? Because I'm not going to marry somebody who doesn't know me. I hate this shit. Why'd you just do this? I don't care if you put so much work into it. Put some work into it for somebody who would actually enjoy this shit, because it ain't me. I would actually be running away. I guess we're in a good mood. The air was fresh and clean, and it was nice to be outdoors with the people who loved you most. You were certain that this was the only the beginning of what could be a great day. I feel like something's gonna happen. The adults had decided on some casual nature walks rather than serious hiking, and you strolled along at your own pace, taking in the scenery. Elizabeth sped up a little bit, smirking at Cove as she fell into place between the two of you, and immediately you could tell by her expression she was going to say something taunting. Oh, of course. I can't believe our families are actually on vacation together. Look at his face. He's like, speak for yourself. I get to be with my lady friend here. Fuck you, ho. She threw her arms out, speaking with a genuine sense of bewilderment. I would have joked about something like this happening, and now I'm not so sure I want to give them any more ideas. Cove spared her a look but said nothing, instead continue walking along. Just watch. Next year they'll be talking about the next new amazing idea. She put on a fake voice, deeper than her own. We should just sell both our houses and move in together. Think of how much we'd save on the mortgage. It was clear that Elizabeth was being sarcastic. Cove simply shook his head, not really bothered by her. You supposed he was used to it by this point. But seriously, they really do act like we're a single family, just because we live across the street from each other. Elizabeth gave you and Cove a look, her eyes glinting with mischief as she leered at you.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we will be related, legally anyways. Actually, how'd she read the future? Uh-oh. She said it as though she was a gossipy old lady. Maybe. I guess you and me could get married, Elizabeth. Me? Yeah. That way Peachy and I could be... Peachy would be my sister-in-law. That'd be fun. Oh. Elizabeth stuck her tongue out at Cove, as if the very idea were ridiculous. I'll marry you, Cove. I want to see what this man does. We must unite our family ties to increase our pull in the community. And that would be fitting, considering that you thought about what you thought about when you first met him. Political marriage? It might be all right with you. Then it's an agreement. Okay. Elizabeth poked out her tongue at both of you, giving you a sour look. She walked ahead, obviously not getting the responses she was looking for, and you and Cove swapped amused looks. The day continued on with plenty to see and experience. You passed a few different activities that you would have liked to try out if you had the time, such as kayaking and rock climbing, but Ma said that it would have to wait for another trip. There was a little stream during the walk that you had sat beside and set out a picnic for lunch, nibbling on a selection of fruit, sandwiches, and chips. Various birds flew by overhead, and you made a game out of guessing the species that were hanging in the trees nearby. You would even manage to get a couple of them right, including the kingfisher that grabbed half of Cliff's sandwich. We went to the beach one time, dude. My dad got a hot dog right. First mistake. He got a hot dog. He's mid, like, about to eat it. Like, it's like, you know, he's like, got his mouth open and everything. I'm not gonna do it because it's gonna look so fucking horrid. I'm not doing that on stream. You're not gonna catch me doing that. But he had it, and he was about to take his mid bite, and I kid you not, like a fucking seagull came down and was like, "Rah!" and ate that shit. I have never seen a grown man jump and yell as loud as my dad did. Like, scream. He was like, "Oh my god, a bird!" He was so fucking scared. My mom hates birds too, so they were both screaming. I'm just sitting there like, horrid. It was so fucking funny though. I'm pretty sure he got whacked in the face by the wing too. That bird was disrespectful. He said, "I'm gonna take your food and I'm gonna wing slap you, so what you gonna do about that?" Nothing. Like, so disrespectful, dude. You were glad you got to do it in the end. Yeah, we're glad we got to do it in the end. It was definitely a special experience, and you'd remember it for a long time to come. You smiled to yourself, committing the sights and sounds to memory. Your group made it back to the camp as the sun was setting in the sky and the stars were appearing one by one. Everyone had enjoyed different parts of most of it. You traded stories of what you thought while you were eating dinner, and then afterwards you pitched in to help clean up. You, along with Elizabeth and Cove, got back to the RV early to spend some time together while the parents stayed outside longer. It was nice to have space to yourselves after the cramped journey there, and while Elizabeth had locked herself in the back room with her headphones, you and Cove were left in the main lounge area. We'll hang out with Cove. We might as well get comfortable. Who knows how long they'll be out for. You took a seat on the sofa while Cove sat down on the other end, tapping his fingers against his knees. You know, I hardly ever see you wearing a jacket, especially in summer.
Yeah.
I like wearing a few layers as possible. It's easier that way. I'd rather be cold than extra hot. It's kind of a pain to carry around extra clothes anyways. No, that's so true. My parents had made me bring this jacket. I'm the same way. They're bulky and heavy, and they usually make me feel too warm. Cove smiled lightly, and you nodded. I've noticed. What do you like to see others wear? We can ask that. Yeah, what kind of things do you think are nice to see on another person? He said. Cove's eyes widened at the question. His defensive reply seemed to slip out before he had a chance to have a proper thought about it. Nothing. We'll pay it no mind. He still did, however. I didn't mean it like that, you know. I know. Answer with what you do mean then. Isn't there anything at all that you think looks good when you see it on someone? Cove mumbled under his breath, and you couldn't quite catch the words. He was having a difficult time with the subject. I swear I won't make fun of you. That's not really it. Cove seemed pretty grumpy about your statement, but you weren't ready to give up so easily. Please? Cove sighed and looked down at his lap where he was fidgeting with his hands, still reluctant to give an answer.
I don't know.
Hey, my bad, dog. Sorry for asking. I just thought it would be a conversation starter. Whoops, my bee. You made an unimpressed sound over how this was going. You sure? Fine, I guess I kind of like ankle bracelets. Ankle bracelets? Yeah, everyone can wear pretty bracelet. Wrist ones are cool too, but they're pretty normal. There's something fun or flirty about ankle bracelets.
I mean...
It's more special or something. I don't know how to explain it. Cove brushed his knuckles against his cheek awkwardly, seemingly unsure where to go from here. At their age? No. I like them too. Cove smiled at you, happy to hear he wasn't the only one who felt that way. When he said nothing else, you took a moment to gather your own thoughts. We need to get one on ASAP. You needed to see how Cove would react to that. Cove looked away again, feeling awkward about this. You gave him an understanding look, and soon enough he was smiling like normal again. Well, now you have to answer too. What do you like for another person? Pretty hair. Cove chuckled as though you had said something highly amusing. Good luck. I hope you find someone. With that, the topic abruptly dropped off. Cove officially had no more to say on it. The parents all arrived soon after, each one of them climbing into the RV, finding a place to sit and rest their legs. Elizabeth, having heard the commotion, came out of the room for the first time since arriving and joined you all. You had spent the evening chattering and playing a few games, enjoying the last evening of the trip together. Bedtime arrived in the blink of an eye. As the group hunkered down for the night, your mom did a final round to be sure nothing had been left behind. She explained that Cliff was going to start driving early in the morning, like on the first day, but would be letting everyone else in the group sleep. There wouldn't be a need for all of them to get up. Now it was time for you to check that you hadn't left anything outside. You, as well as everyone else, were confident you had all packed up inside the RV, which meant it was time to get some rest before the journey home tomorrow. Your moms and Elizabeth said goodnight, heading towards the back room while you climbed up to the loft. Cove and his family got situated below in the previous set arrangement. You tried to get comfortable as a million thoughts were running through your mind. It was hard to believe that the trip was practically over, and before you knew it, you'd be back in your own bed at home. Fun and mini-adventure. It was short, that was for sure, but you got to see and do so much during your time here. All in all, it was a nice break away from home. The minutes ticked by slowly. It didn't take long for the soft snores of Cliff and Kira to drift up to you. They were asleep now. You wondered if Cove was still awake and decided to poke your head out from the loft to find out. You blinked through the dark. Looking down the hall, you noticed Cove laying on his back, his eyes staring straight up at the ceiling. His seafoam hair was spread out on his sleeping bag. He must have felt you watching him because suddenly his eyes locked onto yours. It was difficult to see in the dim light, but you could make out the crooked smile on his face well enough. You grinned back at him. Cove shrugged in his bed while still smiling, or at least he thought he did. Gesture for him to come over. Cove looked unsure about it, but you were happy to see him slowly start to sit up anyways. His sleeping bag rustled as he moved, though he tried to go slow and froze up like a deer in headlights every time he made a sound, watching his parents for any sign of movement. Eventually, he managed to maneuver around his sleeping dad and make it to the ladder, standing on the bottom rung where he looked up at you and whispered. What? Oh no. We'll invite him up. Do you want to come up? His eyes widened just so. You could only tell that he had come to where you were. Cove glanced behind him quickly at his sleeping parents before turning back to you. Okay. You broke out into a grin and scooched back as far as you could, making space for Cove to crawl in. He was very tall, so it wasn't a great fit for him, but he managed to squeeze himself in. Luckily, you were short enough to leave him some room. You lay down next to each other on your sides, face to face. He got under the blanket a bit. One of his arms was nestled under his head for comfort. The other, where nowhere to go, was nestled alongside his chest on the floor of the loft. Cove spoke to you softly. So what am I doing here? You can sleep here instead of the floor. Yeah, 'cause that's painful. Cove raised an eyebrow, not having expected you to bring up the topic again.
It's okay.
You're still thinking about that? You don't have to worry about me that much, but thanks. It's okay. It isn't a big deal. It isn't a big deal for us to both be in the loft, right? Yeah, it's not some huge thing. We've shared a million times by now, and they're usually the ones encouraging us. Cove gestured in the direction of his parents, and you nodded in agreement. They had always tried to put you and Cove together ever since you were little. I wonder how much trouble we'd be in if we get caught. It wouldn't be nearly as much as if we would have been in my mom. Oh, it wouldn't be nearly as much as we would have been if my mom's found out you snuck into my room for the night at the start of summer. Oh my god, yeah, that's right. He fell asleep in her bed. He winced just imagining it. I still can't believe I did that and didn't get caught. It was a very dramatic morning. You could easily picture his frantic escape in your mind's eye. You're kind of a troublemaker, aren't you, Cove? No, I don't think so. Cove trailed off and he seemed to be lost in his own thoughts. Well, maybe sometimes. Cove smiled fondly at you and you grinned triumphantly. You spent the rest of the night smushed up in a little loft together, whispering about your past memories and trying not to giggle too loud at the silly things you had gotten up together over the years. Eventually the chatting trailed off, and you noticed Cove had drifted asleep. You followed soon after. When you woke up the next morning, it was to the rumble of the RV as it traveled a long journey home. You noticed quickly that you weren't as warm as you had been during the night, and when you checked next to you, Cove was gone. Blinking sleepily, you peeked over the edge of the loft to find out where he had gone. Maybe he had snuck back to a spot on the floor during the night? However, you soon noticed him sitting on the couch, quietly talking with his mom. His head hung in embarrassment. Oh, no. Oh, man. Your movement gave you away, and Kira suddenly looked up and caught your eye. She simply smiled amusedly at you, and it was obvious what happened. Cove hadn't gotten away with it. They had found him there in the loft, and you woke up. While he was trying to explain, you knew it was going to be a long, long time before you lived this one down, if you ever did. Soon, your moms and Elizabeth emerged from their room, dressed for the day and ready for travel. You spent most of the day hanging out together in our RV, savoring the last few hours of vacation. Kira suggested a few travel games that she used to play with Cove when she was younger, and you all had a great time competing against each other. A little later in the day, you tried to talk to Cove about what happened in the loft, but he simply apologized and changed the subject. Oh no. It was a bit too much for him to try speaking on, especially right now. You understood. When the RV finally pulled into your street, it was well into the night, and you were looking forward to crawling in your own bed after the last few days. Everyone else must have been feeling the same because it was a mutual agreement that unpacking and cleaning the RV would wait until morning. Once home again, you went straight up to your room and dropped onto your bed, shoes and all. Yeah, it felt weird to be alone. You had gotten so used to having all the others with you at all times, as well as the rumble of the RV, that it felt oddly quiet being by yourself. With those last few thoughts drifting through your mind, it wasn't long before you dozed off to sleep. Tomorrow, life would go on like normal. Okay, and then summer ended. We'll do that. There was no denying it. Today was the very last day of summer. Tomorrow you were heading to class. It was a bummer. Summer had been so much fun. When you thought about going back to school, it was with a sense of loss. Soon you wouldn't be able to choose, however, how your days went spent without the school bell telling you where to be and when. It was a heavy heart that you chose your outfit for your final day of freedom. Life was going to be different. You had to come to think of summer vacation as the norm, but school sucked up the majority of the year, whereas the summer vacation was just a respite in the middle. Oh, I feel like I have a bug bite on my hand, like itches. So rather than being different, it was a kind of return to the normal. Question mark. Whoops. I'm not repeating that again. I'm not repeating that again to get a question mark in there. No, ma'am. Sorry, I had to check on something. Okay, we're good. Oh my god, we've already been doing this for an hour. Go by quick. So rather than it being different, it was kind of a return to the normal. There we go. I said I wouldn't do it again, and I did. Maybe because I lost my spot. What did your normal life really mean? You considered how fondly your moms had talked about their summer vacations as kids. You dimly recognized that one year the pattern of school and summer itself would be over for good. It was hard to imagine. No, dude, now that I look back at, like, summer vacation in high school and everything like that, and, like, shit like that time in my life, I'm like, how has it almost been 10 years? Like, this year, It will have been 10 years since I was 16 years old. What the fuck? And everyone's like, oh my god, the year 2016, I'm in my 2016 era. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Please quit. I'm not gonna lie though, summer during 2016 was pretty freaking good. 2014 summer, like through 2016 summers were like the best. Best for music, best for everything, dude. And I literally kid you not, I saw a TikTok the other day that was like, I would give anything to be a teenager be in high school between 2014 to 2018. My high school years is now an aesthetic? Am I getting that old? No, ma'am. I absolutely not. I hate that. They're like, oh my god, what I wouldn't give to be in high school during 2014 to 2018. It was not that long ago, babes. Why are we acting like it was like the 80s? Like, come on now. I cannot. Like, y'all don't want to go back to galaxy leggings. I'm telling you right now, you don't want to go back to the forbidden bell-bottom pants. You really do not. The age of Tumblr and grunge eras, are you kidding me? Flower crowns and the dog face Snapchat filter, I really don't think you want to. Like, no. Everyone's like, I would kill. Please stop. Please stop. You're going to make me feel like I'm way older than I am. And I'm not that old. Even though now I feel like it when I hear that stuff, I'm like, god damn it. You considered how fondly your mom to talk about their summer, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's good. Never mind. I already said all that. Whoops. You'd gotten distracted, one arm still out of a sleeve. You had folded through and put your mind back to the present. The season had brought about plenty of changes of its own, like Kira's visit, though that too was coming to an end today. Oh. You're happy you got to know her, I guess. She was interesting to be around. You liked how easy it was to talk to her. You finished dressing, which was good. Co would be there any minute. Any moment. Holy shit. You had agreed to see his mom off together. Officially, the plan was that he would come over to bring you round to be... Oh my god. To bring you round to his house when she was ready to set off. But you both knew that you'd be hanging out for at least a little while beforehand. Holy cow, that was a mouthful. Oh. Kira's visit had troubled Cove when it first happened. It had been a sudden change thanks to Mr. Holden's infamous tendency to surprise people, but once he was able to adjust, he had been in pretty good spirits with her around. It was a relief for everyone. You turned to your desk, where the box containing your accessories had resided. Yeah. You'd gone out and bought several anklets. Yeah, girl, we gotta have a variety here. We can't just stick with one. There's gotta be a variety. Your eyes bored into the box. Should you wear any for Cove's visit today? Absolutely. We'll put one on. We can't put on too many because we look like a try-hard. We gotta just put one on. It's subtle. It's a little detail. You know what I mean? As you threaded the hoop through the clasp, you had to wonder if Cove would spot what you had done and how he'd react if he did. A cheeky grin grew on your face. Young love. The next thought that had crossed your mind was... Yeah, we'll go meet him as he arrives. You bounded down the stairs, your hand gliding over the rail. You wanted to make sure you got there first. If you didn't hurry, your moms might answer it. It was only a few minutes later when the doorbell rang. As you had chosen to stand beside it to wait for Cove, there was no delay in pulling it open. Cove was there just as you expected. Seeing you, he flashed you a bright grin. Hi, Cove, come on in. Once he had stepped inside, you beckoned for him to follow you upstairs. Back up in your room, you sat down on your bed, waiting for Cove to settle in as you knew he would. With other guests, you might have offered them a seat, but you and Cove were long past those tentative stages of friendship. Your room was familiar to him as his own. You watched as Cove sat down in your desk chair. He preferred that spot. He rolled it closer to the bed to make it easier to chat, tweaking the angle so that he was facing you fully. Once happy with the position, he leaned towards you, his hands held in his lap. His actions weren't the one of someone who planned on moving from his spot anytime soon, even though you had an appointment to keep together that day. When is your mom leaving?
Don't worry about it.
We've got some time. She's still got a shower and stuff before she goes. She didn't want me to keep hanging around while she was doing that. He lifted his head, his gaze drifting out through the window, and chuckled. I can't believe she's already leaving. Just when I'm getting used to her being there every day. He leaned back in the chair, a wry smile tickling his cheeks. Oh. She'll be back. He cocked his head thoughtfully before shrugging. He ran a hand through his hair before shaking his head as if shaking off the topic, like a dog whipping off water following a dip in the sea. Cove looked back at you, his lips parted as if he was about to speak, but instead his eyes widened and his mouth closed into a tiny frown. Something had caught his attention. Oh no, the anklet. Something wrapped around where the end of your leg met your foot. Oh. He cast his eyes back up to your face, then down to your ankle and back to your face. He repeated the process once, twice more, as if struggling to hold the two items in tandem. Maybe he was weighing up whether this could be a coincidence or not. Or maybe he was just too shy to verbalize his thoughts, or he was still trying to find the words, and this was the most he could manage. The attention made you feel very pleased. We're very pleased with ourselves. The whole plan was for him to see you in it, and you'd succeeded. While his attention was still divided between you and your ankle and your face, it was totally on you. Oh! Not this man getting bashful over an ankle. What is this, the 1400s? He's like, my lady, your ankle is exposed, and there's a jewelry upon it. My lady, cover that ankle. Sir, please. I can't even imagine back in the day, your ankle showing. What? What do you mean? Like, no. My ankles be showing every day. Like, what are you talking about? On his next glance back to your face, Cove saw your expression had shifted. You had watched his bewilderment erode into a mortification as he realized he had been caught staring. He quickly spun in the chair to face the wall instead, allowing you to glimpse the flesh that had spread all the way to his ears. Oh! His embarrassment finally wore off enough for him to pipe up again. I hope you're not doing that to make fun of me. No! What do you mean? You know, about what I said before on the road trip? What did you say before? Cove groaned, tilting his head up to the ceiling. He had not bought your head. Why do I ever tell you things? How does it look? You lifted your leg up and pointed towards his chair so he could get a best view. Cove just huffed in response. He jerked his face to the side. You waited patiently, taking your eyes off of him or lowering your foot until he gave in. Well, with a roll of the eye, he conceded.
Nice.
I think it looks good. Cove prodded an accusing finger in your direction. But you already knew that because I told you. His comment drew a grin from you. He smiled back, the final shadows of his frantic initial reaction swept aside. Cove perched an elbow on the arm's chair and propped his jaw against his curled hand. There was a natural ease in his movements, a familiarity that, from the echoes of all times before when he had sat in the same position. This was a really nice summer. I'm glad we got to spend so much time together. Cove still nestled cozily in your chair. Smiled at your response. Good lord. No, why are they calling us? The sudden call from downstairs caught you both unaware. You'd nearly forgotten about the world outside your room. From the guilty look on his face, Cove had done the same thing. He's like, oh shit, my mom. Just had a call. Cove's mom's. I can't speak. Just had a call. Cove's mom is ready to go. Whoops. If you're quick, she might have kept the mandated motherly smothering to a minimum. You doubted that, but it was nice that Mom and Mrs. Priest had their strange sense of humor in common. Your eyes met Cove's. Wordlessly, you headed downstairs together. Each step on the way there was painfully slow, like he was trying to delay the inevitable. His whole body tensed up leaving the house, and Cove froze altogether before you could both cross the street.
Oh.
Doors open. Dad must be taking her stuff out. You swallowed hard. Oh. She's really gonna leave. Dude, I got like this bug bite on my hand, and it's still freaking killing me. Golly. Smile at him. You weren't sure what to say or how else to react other than being there to support him. Cove's bottom lip quivered, and he turned away. Thanks. Oh. At that, some of the conflict wearing on his face had eased a bit. Together, you went across the street and inside his house. Damn, he's got a nice house. Finding his parents in the living room surrounded by his mom's packed things. Hey, kids. Good timing, I just called the taxi.
Hi.
So glad I got to see you today. It was fabulous getting to know you this summer. I finally get to put a face to a name I've heard so many times. She winked and Cove pouted on cue over the teasing. I'm happy I got to meet you too. Hopefully it won't be too long before we see each other again. Nodding, Kira turned her attention back to her boys. Her boys? That's her ex. They gonna get back together or what? Girl, you were there all summer. You telling me you didn't spark up a fling? Come on now. She patted Cliff on the arm with a warm smile, and then she enveloped Cove in a crushing hug. Initially, Cove swerved to break free from her grip, but his mom was unfazed and kept him locked in place. Heartbeats later, he gave in and hugged her back tightly.
I'm so glad.
This goof. And I'm so happy this trip was a success. Cliff looked like he was bursting with pride. Sir, it was almost very bad. It was almost very, very bad. And then Cove stiffened. Kira loosened her grip on him enough to steady his face, concerned. She spoke her next words in a whisper that had been meant for just her son. Do you want to unshelve it? Raising an eyebrow, Cliff watched him carefully. His smile began to falter.
What's wrong?
Oh. Cove sighed and his gaze flickered over to you for a moment, and then just as quick it was back to his parents.
It's okay.
Really?
Are you sure? I don't want to do it now. I can tell Dad later. Nervously, you watched as he exchanged, with the growing suspicion that Cove didn't want to have that conversation while you were there. Oh. No, that's not fun. You ever been in a friend's house? I don't mean like now, because obviously like I'm older and like I live, you know, by myself now. Like I'm not with parents, but I remember back in the day, like having a friend get in trouble right in front of you was always the worst thing in the world, because they're like having this serious conversation. You're like, can I talk? Can I speak? Holy shit. They're having a serious conversation and like almost like lecturing your friend. You're just sitting there on the couch like, so are we still gonna order that pizza? Like what? Like I'd always be sitting there like, I'm still really hungry. Do you think they would care if I went into their cabinet right now and raided it? Because I'm starving. But how do I say that? Because they're having a serious conversation. I'm sitting there like, this isn't my house. Like, or like, you know, and then you get in trouble with them sometimes, and you're just like, this is worse than getting yelled at by my own parents. Like, this fucking sucks. Because obviously these people aren't your parents, you know what I mean? So you're just like, so I get my boy Cove. I really, truly understand it. I'd always look at my parents and be like, not now, please, not now. Don't do it in front of my friend, please don't. And thankfully my parents were like that too. They're like, we're not going to lecture you in front of your friend. But the minute my friend would leave, I would dread it because that door would shut. My parents were like, come sit down, let's have a chat. I'm like, oh, fuck. I've got no armor. My armor's gone. He wondered if you should offer to leave when Kira gave Cove a pat on the head.
All right.
You can always call me anytime if you want me to be a part of the conversation, okay? I'll call. Thanks, Mom. Cove still looked a little baffled about what Kira and Cove were referring to, but you watched as his shoulders slowly relaxed. You figured that he decided to wait for Cove to be ready to talk to him. That's all, like, honestly all you can do. Like, I don't know. Don't force it out, man. Just let him come to you. And with Cliff's silence, things seemed to be settled for now. Because I was that kid. You force it out of me and you're getting anger. Like, if I'm not ready to talk to you, I'm not ready to talk. And I'm still that way. Now I can just get up and walk away. But, like, as a kid, like, don't force that shit out of me or I'm gonna fucking snap, dude. I'm not one to be forced to talk when I'm not ready. Nope. I gotta think on it a minute. After that, it wasn't long before the taxi arrived, rolling up in front of the house and in a clear view of the open door. Kira stood up, smiling sadly. Well, that's my ride. Yeah. This man's like, my summer fling. The matching reply got a chuckle out of Kira as you all filed out the house. Father and son went with Kira's bags in hand. Once outside, you spotted your family waiting by the street. And to your surprise, Derek was also with them. He stood uncomfortably as he waved as soon as you noticed him.
What's up?
Sir, where the hell you been? When did you get here? My dad dropped me off just a little bit ago. Thought I could visit one more time before school started.
Sorry.
You picked a busy time, sorry. Derek couldn't even look at Cove. He nervously kept rolling a pebble with the bottom of his shoe.
Sorry.
I wasn't even thinking that your mom would be leaving today. I'm sorry, dude. What? You're not interrupting anything. You're always welcome here. It would have been sad if I didn't get to say goodbye before leaving. Derek came to hang out often, so it was inevitable that the two had met at some point. I think so too. It was apparent Derek would have preferred to have gotten there at a more opportune moment. He never liked seeming impolite, but their reassuring words soothed his worries. I was that child too. I hated being an inconvenience. Like, my parents were always like, do not make those parents regret having you there. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you got it. Like, I was always very afraid of inconveniencing people. I'm still that way. I hate inconveniencing other people. Oh my god. Oh, I love fan art of Silas. Kill me now. Oh my god, it's so good. Hang on, I got a notification here for the Oh, it's about to eat. I am, for those of you who haven't been here, every time I send one, my favorite manhwa is getting an adaptation into an anime, actually, and I'm so excited, but we were all afraid that it would absolutely just be ass, because, you know, sometimes, usually when they adapt from a manhwa, it's always kind of ass, especially a Korean BL. Sometimes it's ass. Because they just don't take the beautiful art for what it is. They just want to, you know, make it kind of a cash grab. And sometimes it's not, it doesn't translate well. You know what I mean? Like, the original artist just did such a good job with the characters and the story, and then you translate it, and it's like, okay, something got mixed up here. Maybe they didn't listen to the artist's wishes, they went off and did their own thing, I don't even know. But they're doing Low Tide. My favorite, my absolute favorite. They fuck it up, dude. Ooh! They'll never hear the end of it from me. I will write a strongly worded letter, and I'll crumple it up and throw it away, but I will get my feelings out. Probably most likely on stream. I wish I could have viewing parties, but I already heard it's going to be 18 plus, so catch me watching that in my free time. I'll watch it, and then I'll come here and I'll chat about it. Because I can't watch it on stream. Unfortunately, I wish I could. Maybe I could watch clips, but when they get into it, man, I can't. So, you know. The tension he was holding in his body lessened, and he looked like he was feeling much more like himself. Bye, Derek. It was fun getting to know you. Bye, ma'am. Oh, is there anything I can do to help?
Nah.
That came out of nowhere. Don't worry yourself over that. We're just about set. In that short amount of time, Cliff had gathered and packed the bags into the trunk. Kier took one last look at everyone inside. All right, I don't want to keep the driver waiting. It's time to head out. The little crowd that had formed around there started their course of farewells, as well as, well, oh my god, holy. I need to chill. And well wishes traveling. Holy shit. But Kira still made no move to get into the taxi. She placed her attention on Cove. I'll call you when I get to the airport when I make it to Nevada. Also, you better call the moment you walk in the door at home. Otherwise, we'll be wondering all night if you got into trouble on the way there. I can do that. And could you call tomorrow too so I can tell you how school went? Of course, I want to hear all about it. Kira put a hand on Cove's head affectionately, ruffled his hair one last time. She then let go, only to move on to squeezing his cheeks in her hands instead. Aw, not you embarrassing this kid. I love you so much. Oh no. She was chuckling by the time she freed him and rounded things off with a small tap on the tip of his nose. Cove rubbed his face with a grin. Finally, she walked to her car while waving, and she took her seat in the taxi. Cliff hooked an arm around Cove's shoulder and kept him close as he began to pull away. Oh, as it began to pull away. Oh my good lord. For a moment, Cove looked up at his dad and then wrapped an arm across his back.
Bye.
Bye, Mom. Bye, travel safe. Kira rolled down the window and stuck her head out of it. She waved again while blowing kisses at Clove and Cliff. I cannot. See you again. Girl, y'all got divorced. Why are you starting this situationship up again? Come on now. I promise you, I can speak. I have the ability to speak. It's just sometimes my mouth moves a little too fast and the words can come out. My brain's going a million times a minute. That's the unmedicated ADHD in me, running itself rampant. It's so fun. I should get back on my meds, but hey, shit's too fucking expensive right now. So fun. Like, anything is too expensive. Like, getting blood work again to go get my medication. I don't want to be doing all that. That costs so much money. I don't got all that right now. Plus, medical bills? In this economy? With this healthcare system? I don't think so. I don't think so. Before she was out of sight, you decided to... Oh, what are we gonna do? Wave goodbye. We'll just wave goodbye. As the taxi headed down the road, you stuck... Okay. You stuck your hand in the air to send her off. The cab turned down another road and completely disappeared from view. Cove let go of his dad and took a few steps out into the empty street, still looking in the direction his mom went. He smiled quietly, deep in thought. You got the impression Cove was feeling much better than he was earlier. He was finally content with it the way things were. I thought I was gonna hiccup. Every time I have water, I always have a hiccup. You jumped a bit when your mom put put a hand on your shoulder, pulling you away from your thoughts. She smiled when you looked at her. That was a great vacation, huh? Yeah. That was what I was hoping to hear. Cove walked back to the group, still genuinely happy. Derek grinned at him welcomingly, and everyone else smiled at him, even Elizabeth.
Well?
Ma clapped her hands together, bringing everyone's attention back to the present. It's almost lunchtime. I think I'll put something special together. Her eyes sparkled with a plan, and Mom smiled. I bet you could use some help with that. That'd be absolutely wonderful. Good. Mom's such a baddie. I can't even handle it. Derek glanced between you two, his eyebrows furrowed. Is there something I could do? Your mom's exchanged a fond expression. Ma shook her head.
How sweet.
That's very sweet, Derek, but it's all right. It's not your job. Technically, your dad left you under Cliff's watch. You're meant to be taken care of by him, not doing chores for the neighbors. Mom laughed a little at her own joke. You watched Derek look away, discouraged.
It's okay.
Oh, it's okay, I don't mind. What a nice kid. He was a little bashful about it. You wondered if Mom's joke had just reminded him that he wasn't initially meant to be invited to lunch. It was getting a little awkward. Oh. Why are we uninviting a child? Like, come on now. He's a kid. He can't help that he was dropped off. That pisses me off. Mom grinned sympathetically. Her comment was meant to lighten the mood, not to bring it back down. Ma tried again to get things moving forward. Why don't you kids go have fun? You can all come back in an hour. We'll make enough for everyone. Mom nodded in agreement.
Sounds good.
Another stunning idea, Lonnie. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That sounds like a plan then. I don't want to cramp your style. I've got some stuff to work on so I can be out of your hair this afternoon. You should come by later too. No reason you should be the odd man out. Holy cow. Mom seemed amused as Cliff rubbed his neck nervously. He grinned a wavering but pleased smile.
Thanks very much.
I appreciate the invite. He looked over the assembled crowd with knowing glances. I can help too. With as many people as you're feeding, that's going to be a lot of food. Didn't you hear what we told Derek? It wouldn't be fair to make you cook while we're the ones who are inviting you in. Ma raised an eyebrow when Cliff waved it off.
Come on.
I insist. Derek would be missing out time with his pals. This would be a break for me. I'm quite the chef. But those golden locks? What can't you do, sir? The total package. Ma and Mom exchanged further glances before Mom shrugged. An airtight argument. If you're sure, we'll be happy to have you Chef Cliff. Cliff's grin widened and seemed more hyped than you expected him to be about helping with lunch. Cove shook his head, a fond smile on his face. Then all of us grown-up people will be heading inside. I assume the rest of you kiddos are staying out. Maybe not all of them. Not the sister. She's like, oh, hell no. Ma tilted her head, a silent question for Elizabeth. Your sister thought for a moment.
All right.
I'll stay with the kids. Girl, what?
That's fantastic.
That's great. Both your moms smiled at her while Derek and Cove didn't seem to appreciate her phrasing. The kids? Yeah, come on now, girl. Quote, the plane decided, all three parents waved and headed for the house. It was just you teenagers now. Elizabeth looked at you and the others, a curious expression on her face.
So?
You silently wondered if Elizabeth had only stayed out to avoid getting roped into work. Then again, she could genuinely want to hang out. You couldn't tell with your sister. Ko spoke up after no one else did to answer Elizabeth's question. Want to go down to the shopping center? Oh my god, the shopping center. Girl, what the fuck? Where did that word come from? That word is nowhere in this sentence at all. I cannot. Want to go down to the shopping street? Ooh. It's been a while, and I don't think there's a lot of things that we could agree on. There we go. We're just going to leave that word out. We're adding words and leaving them out, too. Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Sounds awesome to me. Unlike you guys, I haven't been there 1,001 times. It's new to me. No, when people come and visit that aren't from around my area, you know what I mean? Like, I grew up here. I've been to the mall. Same thing, 1,001 times. So when people come in, they're like, oh, this is your mall? I'm like, yeah, like, it's just weird that people all the time, like, especially when I lived in a different state, right? I lived where the snowbirds would go back home to. I lived there full time for a while. So, like, people there were like, oh my god, we're gonna go on vacation, you know, down south. And I'm like, y'all vacation in my home state? Why? Like, I can't comprehend that people come here to vacation. Like, y'all can go anywhere else. And you come here? No. I'm just like, y'all come to the desert to have fun? Like, no ma'am. What are you actually talking about? Like, y'all can go to the beach. Y'all can do so many different things and you come here? People are like, yeah, we're gonna go vacation there. What are you talking about? And they're like, why would you ever move away from there? I would live there in a heartbeat. I'm like, I didn't want to come here, but I mean, I don't know. It always weirds me out when people say that they're vacationing here. I'm like, here? This state? You're vacationing here? In the middle of June? Girl, have you looked at the news? Like, do you know what kind of weather we get here? I don't know. It's just truly shocking to me. I'm like, you come here from all places? Especially now, a lot of people are like, we're not coming there. You know, we're gonna avoid your state for the next like 3-4 months. And I'm like, honestly, I would too. Because we just found out that the stupid fucking, you know, Gestapo is coming here for 3 months. Lovely. So fucking lovely. Ugh. It's just been so absolutely horrid, dude. It's already starting here, and it's just like, I know it's gonna get bad once it ramps up. I just know. It's gonna be so bad. I'm already like, you know, joining groups and things of figuring out like how to take care of your community better when it's in your area. You know what I mean? And it's just like, ugh. It's overwhelming, but at the same time, it's necessary. Do you know what I mean? Like, two things can be the same at once. Like, it's overwhelming and very stressful, but at the same time, necessary and something that has to be done. But it doesn't mean that you can't have feelings about it. So I'm just like, okay, deep breath. We'll be okay. We'll make it through. We got this. We're all stronger together. Power in numbers. We gotta remember that. It's just rough. It's just rough. So it's why, like, hearing a lot of people right now being like, I'm not gonna come down there because you're about to get hit. And I'm like, yup. And you know, I know it's coming. It fucking sucks. Because they're already here. I mean, they're just ramping up. It's the calm before the storm. Do you know what I mean? If I get rid of them altogether, that'd be fucking lovely. Maybe abolish it. Because everyone's like, we should just defund. What's defunding gonna do? You have to abolish it. Like, literally just completely get rid of it altogether. Defunding is gonna do absolutely fucking nothing. I don't know. I posted something, what was it, yesterday? That was basically like, if you support what's going on in the current world and in the US current state of affairs, if you support anything that's happening right now, please get the fuck off my page and leave. You are not fucking welcome here, and I do not want someone like you around me. Because here's the thing. There are obviously people that, like, I've known, you know, since high school or whatever, and obviously, like, that never came up. It was never, like, a really big thing back then, you know what I mean? Like, like, you know, 15, 16, we weren't really, at least in my time, like, we were worried about different things. So, like, I don't know. You're also just having fun, so it was never, like, a political conversation. You were just worried about what party you were going to hit up next, or what guy you liked, or what your friend said about you, or, you know, stupid stuff like that. It's like, now that I'm an adult, and we've all grown up and formed our own opinions, I'm like, I don't know what any of y'all fucking do anymore. Because there's some people who are very quiet about it. I kid you not, I lost, like, so far it's been like 8 people on my page, and I'm like, bye-bye, never knew you, will never miss you, you can leave now. Like, shocking. Almost like, I thought I unfollowed half of y'all that I knew actively, but I was like, thank God they did it for me. Thank fucking God. And that's why I keep just flooding my shit with all of it, because I'm like, hopefully it'll weed all of you out. Thank God. I don't need any of that shit in my fucking life. Good fucking bye. But seeing so many people, like, I don't know, rally around it and support it. Like, I'm posting these things, and people, like, that I haven't talked to in so long are just like, fuck yeah, like, that's, you know, whatever, blah, 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 I totally agree. Like, all these things. I'm like, dude, we haven't talked in forever, but, like, we're all collectively coming together. Like, that's what I'm saying. Power in numbers. It's so great to see. Because as much as there's bad, there's good that we're seeing of community coming together to help out people who are in need, which is so amazing to see that in such a dark time. I'm glad it's not completely tearing everything to fucking shreds. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm trying to see the tiny little positives here. Keeps me going. Keeps my hope up. But still. I don't know. I feel like I have to focus on that more than the stuff that's bringing me down, because, dude, my anxiety has been through the fucking roof. It's been really, really bad. Like, my hair is shedding so bad, and I'm like, oh, it's my stress, dude. It's not good. Not good. And it's only gonna get worse. You know what I mean? It gets worse before it gets better. So I feel like it's just starting to ramp up, and I hope I'm fucking wrong, but with the way things are starting to pan out, I'm like, oh, yeah, no, this is going to get real bad real quick. All right, where were we going? Y'all know me, I go off on a tangent. Where were we going? Sure, we can do it. I think the shopping street, right? You strolled across the road as a group, down, oh my God, sorry if you keep hearing that's my bracelet, down to the beach and then down to the left. It took less than 15 minutes to arrive. One of the conveniences is Sunset Bird. The 4 of you looked around the familiar shops, trying to see if anything caught your attention this time. Derek was the most enthusiastic. He checked out every stall with his eyes wide with wonder. Elizabeth and Cove were in good spirits as well. That's so cool. He ran over to a street magician who was currently doing a card trick for a group of enchanted tourists. Derek clapped when the magician showed a middle-aged man his card. Derek turned back to the group with a curious gleam on his face. What does it take to perform here anyways? Do you have to ask somebody, or do you just show up and start doing stuff? Who would you even ask? It's a public street. No, sometimes you do have to ask. They kick your ass off, which is fucked, man. Because there's some really talented people that do that shit. Anytime I go to the beach, I see people performing, I'm always like, what we got over here? I'm one of those people that, like the people that can, like, they're, like, double jointed, you know? Oh, freak me the fuck out. But I still would, like, dude, you're a wonder. A modern marvel, if you will. Like, I don't know how your arms are bending that way, but hey. Take some of my change, good sir. Take what I have as a wee lass. Here. my $2 that are left over from the 10 that my parents gave me. Hey, Miss Mayor, can I pull a rabbit out of my hat, please? Flopsy is well behaved, I promise. Derek chuckled, his eyes searching up and down the scene. Maybe there's a boss of the shopping street? No one does any of this around my neighborhood. It's just regular stores behind walls. I'm dying. It's different if someone wants a real store, but here I'm pretty sure people are just putting on little shows whenever they want to do whatever. That's so neat. Would we be allowed to do something too? Cove laughed and Derek almost began vibrating with excitement. Elizabeth rolled her eyes. What would we do? Well, I don't know what. Not yet. I mean, I just found this place, or found out it's a possibility, you know?
But
If there's gotta be something, you know, cool. We know cool stuff. Good lord. I'm sure if we think about it, we could plan a show that'd be really, really get a crowd pumped. He could try this idea on his own. I'm good. You can show off your skills, and I'll just sit by the sidelines and like cheer and clap and be like, hey, that's my buddy. That's my friend. Do not draw attention to me. Absolutely not. I wonder if I could do some soccer tricks. Do you think that'd work? I don't know yet. With some amusement, the gang continued to pursue the stalls. Elizabeth found some earrings with a dangling, badly misprinted globe that everyone laughed at. Cove picked out a blob as Iceland? Don't say Greenland. You know who's gonna be fucking. I have to sit here and just say it's a joke, or else I'm gonna cry. Like we so fucking for real. Cove picked out a blob as Iceland, but Derek thought that it had to be Greenland. Oh, yeah, hey, there, I just said it. I didn't even see the word. We're not paying attention. He's gonna, like, spawn out of nowhere. Stupid fuck. I hate him so much. I love how every time I see people impersonating him, they, like, bend over, like, literally almost, like, 45 degrees, and they're just, like, doing all this stupid fucking hand sign. This is so fucking dumb. Because at this point, like I said, we have to laugh to a point. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a certain point where you can, like, laugh and be like, this is so fucking stupid, to a point where, like, this is terrifying, something needs to be done. I think we're just so, like, baffled at what's happening that we're like, like, what the fuck, dude? Like, do you know what I mean? I feel like there's so much going on. So much going on. And it's to distract from one thing. Like, the people ain't forget, sir. The people ain't forgetting. Like, sooner or later, your deeds are gonna come undone here. The Reaper will come. You will have to pay. That's all I'm saying. We all pay at some point in this life. Whether it be by the hands of man or by the hands of whoever else you believe in. You pay one day. I truly believe that. You know, this is a world... Oh my god. You know, this is a world with what looks like 9 continents. I think you're both wrong. Okay. That took me a minute to read that in my head a few times. We'll side with Cove. It looks like Iceland to me. I don't even know. I don't even know what to think about all that. Like, we're gonna give all these people... What is it? What is he? $50,000? $50,000. They're gonna want to come over here. No, the fuck they're not, dude. They're seeing the news. Who the fuck wants to be here? None of us even want to be here. We just can't afford to fucking go anywhere. We just can't afford to go anywhere. Like, oh my god. It's for the betterment of the world. No, the fuck it's not. You are tearing everything apart. You should be put in a fucking institution. Like, I swear to god. Oh, the day that I hope for when it happens. I will cheer. I will stand up on a damn table. I will hoot and holler. I'll be like a damn fool. I don't even give a fuck. I'm gonna be like hooting and hollering. Just a whole bunch of hooting and hollering. Ugh. Oh my god. Like, I keep seeing people say this year especially. They're like, hey, by the way, we got 3 more years. No, wait. Like, last year felt like 2. What do you mean 3? I don't know. And here's the thing. Everyone's like, you should probably just stream and, like, keep the politics out of it. No, dude, like, sorry, at this point, you can't keep it out of anything. And also, I'm just not gonna not say anything. Like, and act like it's not happening. Do you know what I mean? Like, I live here. This is my fucking home. I was raised that, like, this is the best place to live, and, no, the fuck, it is not. It's literally what they teach you in school. This is the best place that you ever want to be. This is the greatest country in the world. Oh my god. It's just... That's why I play my silly games and have fun, because I need something to at least make me feel like I have a semblance of normalcy in my life. Just a tiny bit that I can hold on for maybe like, what, we're at 2 hours now? Hold on for 2 hours, and then I'll go back. And I'll rot in this bed and I'll doom scroll all day long. But I need just some peace. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But then obviously too, like if I'm building a platform, which I'm trying to do, I'm not gonna be ignorant. I'm not gonna not talk about it. Like there's so many people who are like, oh my god, I just found out that one of my favorite like content creators is like supporting all this, and I'm like, that's the first thing you should figure out if they do or not, because that'll tell you all you need to know about the person. Because right, like we keep saying, it's not about like what you affiliate with. It's literally if you believe in right or wrong. I'm not sitting here going like, well, as this person who's associated with this, no, as a fucking human being who believes in fucking humanity, that's what it should be. It's that easy. It's really that fucking easy. But we've lost that plot. Very, like, it's been lost for so long. We just have thought it's been there for a long time. It has not. It's left the building so long ago. Like, there's cobwebs in its seat. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. People are like, where did humanity go? I'm like, girl, that's been gone for a long time. Like, I don't know. Sorry for going off my tangents, y'all. I have to speak about it at least some points. You know what I mean? Get it out. I have nowhere else to rant about this. I rant about it all day. And then I have to, like, it's all bubbled up inside, and then I gotta do it some more. I don't know, there's so much just to say, so much anger. If I could say it all, I would, but I feel like I would just get totally, pushed down. That's what they're doing to everyone else, which is shitty. Like, all of my stuff, my algorithm has been so fucked up, and I'm just like, why am I just now seeing this? And it's been posted, like, super long ago. I don't know. Weird. We all know why, but... Let's see what these kids about to do. Suddenly, Cove froze. You stared at him, and then tried to see what caught his attention. When you saw a familiar face down the way, it all made sense. Oh, shit. Beyond the crowds, his bright-colored hair stuck out like a neon green bowl in a kitchen sink. Holy shit, it was Jeremy. Jeremy slowly drifted his eyes down the street with his eyes widened in mutual recognition. He definitely noticed you. Derek and Cove sighed. Neither of them were happy to see him again. We'll glare at him. You narrowed your eyes and projected your dislike. Elizabeth raised an eyebrow. Her gaze swept over Jeremy without a hint of a clue. Jeremy simply scoffed to himself and waded deeper into the crowd of people. Derek relaxed and exhaled loudly. I'm glad he's not going to start anything. He peeked over at Elizabeth with a tiny smirk. See, that was the mean kid.
What?
Oh yeah, that kid from earlier that was like a little asshole. She still didn't get it. That first summer day hasn't made nearly as much of an impression on her as it did for Derek, but he smiled and waved it off. Just forget about him. I already have. He laughed and Cove smiled lightly. He seemed to be in a much better mood now that Jeremy was gone. Your eyes wandered over to where Jeremy disappeared. You hadn't forgotten the day that you met him either. He was only going to be in town for vacation with the parents he hated. That glimpse was probably the last time you would ever see him. I will say that. Jeremy's probably gone for good now. It's time for him to go back to wherever he's from.
Yeah.
Guess we won't have to worry about that guy anymore. Derek kicked a little rock in the road. It clattered forward and then rolled under a stall. But I still think it's kind of sad Jeremy turned out to be, well, like he is. It would have been nice to make another friend. Cove shook his head. He was clearly not broken up over what it might have been. Good riddance. Yeah, if you're gonna be a little asshole, bye-bye. Elizabeth rolled her eyes at the strange farewell to the odd boy, not interested in the slightest. She clearly didn't understand his impact, and at this point, she didn't want to understand. You couldn't help but wonder, though, what would have happened if you would have interacted with Jeremy more. You were glad that you wouldn't find out. Jeremy was unlike anyone you had ever met before. Yeah, he's kind of pitiful, dude. You and the group moved on from the stall and Jeremy. It didn't take long for everyone to return to the joking. You all enjoyed what little time you had left. As Elizabeth mentioned, the hour was almost up. The little trip had flown by, and lunch must have been waiting for you by now. Derek bounced on the balls of his feet.
Yay.
Come on, guys, let's go so we can eat. I'm starving. compound. Here we go. Cove stretched one of his arms lazily. Let's go then. He looked at him appraisingly. Like I said, we have to plant the seeds. If this is a lifelong love that they have, you gotta plant the seeds and then watch them grow. Like, what is it? Y'all ever seen... Oh my god, y'all ever seen that show? I think you should leave. Fucking funny as shit if you haven't watched it. But he literally goes like, you plant the seeds, you get to look at the trees. Worst part, he's talking about a hair growth. Like a hair growth pill. But hey, this actually fits too. We plant the seeds, we get to look at the trees later, you know what I mean? I'm planting the seeds right now. We can enjoy it later. Hey, Cove. Yeah? Could you carry me back home? Oh. Cove smiled, said he was amused, while the tilt of his eyebrows was full of disbelief. You explained you wanted a piggyback ride. I want a piggyback ride, and you're the only one big enough to give me one. Is he gonna say yes? Cove sighed and shook his head. Elizabeth and Derek became a chorus of laughter. Come on, Cove, it'll be fun. Alright. Cove stepped over to you. He looked like he couldn't believe what he was doing. Your lips corked into a large smile. Aw, yeah, thanks. He carefully crouched down in front of you so that you could climb on. It took a little bit of clambering to get yourself completely up on Cove's back. However, when Cove slipped his arms under your legs and stood up, you felt very secure. Elizabeth watched with a smirk on her face while Derek laughed even harder. It was fair to say that your antics were entertaining. You were glad Cove went with it. Cove carried you home contentedly. Other than a few good-natured jokes at your expense, he didn't complain. He made it all the way back to your house without putting you down. It was a pleasant walk home, and in no time you had made it back. Derek got to the front door and held it open for everyone as you moseyed inside. The three parents were still in the kitchen. They looked up and waved. Welcome back, everyone. You made it just in time. I hope you're hungry. When Cove had brought you inside, the parents couldn't help but notice the odd face. Oh, your moms were unsure. Mr. Holden raised an eyebrow.
Everything okay?
Did you pull something? I'm okay. Oh, Cove, you've gotten so strong.
Good kid.
And reliable, too. What a guy. What a guy. Cove rolled his eyes at the commentary, then started walking towards the couch. He bent down and oh my god, can I even fucking talk? And let you plop yourself back onto the couch. Thanks for the lift. Cove exhaled loudly and shook out his arms. He just seemed relieved that he made it. So did everyone have a nice time out? She gestured for people to take a seat at the table. Plates and silverware had already been placed out. You took your normal seat. Elizabeth sat across from you and Derek took the seat to the left. Cove sat on your right. We had a great time. It was fine. I had fun. I really liked it. That's good in my book. Usually Mr. Holden sat in the empty seat across from Cove. He smiled at you and all the other kids. Mom set down a platter full of water glasses on the table. She looked down at the gathering. It's a good thing we have 8 chairs. I can't remember the last time we had a group this big over for a meal. Can you pass the drinks down to the other side? Make sure you all get one. Sure. Look at us go here. Those close to the cups obliged and started offering waters all around. As everything got set up, I forget how to use that word. I'm not even gonna care anymore. I am so full tired at this point. No, ma'am. Oh. Chided, right? I don't know, and I don't even give a fuck anymore. To take her elbows off the table.
No.
And you shouldn't slouch. Dude, God, my parents always did that. Elbows off the table and don't slouch. I'm always like, this is a kid. I was like, I'm pissed. Now I don't really slouch. I mean, I'm kind of slouching now. Like, because I can. I'm in my own fucking home. And I'm allowed to slouch when I want. But usually I'm pretty, like, at work, I'm pretty good at, like, shoulders rolled back, have good posture, you know? At home, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. And then I sit there and go, my back hurts. I know why. I should fix it. Will I? Probably not. She pointed to Mr. Holden, who was leaning forward with both arms on the table. Ugh. Oops. She's calling out the grown-ass man. Mr. Holden seemed unsure about the sudden attention and carefully rearranged his posture to something suitable for a fancy dinner. He smiled sheepishly at Ma. Elizabeth rolled her eyes and Ma gave a level look at her. You shouldn't be impolite to a guest in this house either. Elizabeth groaned. Long and long suffering. Ma giggled and Mr. Holden chuckled.
Not bad.
The lot of you could learn a thing or two from Derek. He has the best manners here. Derek blushed, but it was true. His posture was upright and formal. He even held his fork gracefully. His table manners, on top of all the attempts to aid your parents, made him the model of meal attendee behavior.
Aw.
It's nothing. It's true, though. You have been a lovely guest. I've noticed that, too. It's always nice to have you stay over, Derek. Derek smiled and sat a little taller in his chair. Do you have anything good to say about your other guests? She looked deliberately at Cove with a teasing smirk. Or is there just nothing to say? Well, Cove is my number one. But he's still... Oh my god. But he does still clean his hands by wiping them on his pants. Don't we all from time to time? I mean, there's no other place sometimes. Cove frowned at that and absentmindedly brushed his hands on his pant legs. Your moms laughed lightly.
There.
Elizabeth, you should know, after all these years, Cove is hardly a guest anymore. Cove smiled awkwardly. Thanks. We'll just eat. The parents had made an excellent lunch. You took another bite and minded your business. Everyone ate their meal together and continued to hang out for the afternoon. After the food, you and the others played a couple of games and talked about plans for the upcoming year. The time passed quickly, and soon it was time to part ways. Mr. Holden talked to your moms, and Cove drifted over to you, knowing that as soon as his dad finished up, he'd be leaving. It'd be cool to stay, but we have some stuff to do before everything closes today.
Okay.
Yeah, bye. Could you move? I need the phone. Cove raised an eyebrow, and Elizabeth impatiently gestured behind him. Cove realized that he was standing right in front of where the receiver was placed. He sidestepped out of the way and shook his head, clearly thinking that Elizabeth was rushing too much. Your sister had made a beeline for the phone and started dialing the number, what you figured was one of her friends. Knowing Elizabeth, she was going to be there for a while. You, Cove, and Derek shuffled closer to the door. It seemed like Mr. Holden was wrapping up his conversation, so everyone started saying their various farewells.
Talk to you later.
See you later, Cove. We gotta do this again sometime. Yeah, see you. Cove turned to you and smiled slightly. Bye. Oh. We'll give him a hug. You stepped forward and spread your arms wide. Cove only had a moment to react before you encircled him in your arms. Cove hugged you back tightly and his chest rumbled as he laughed.
Dude.
Seriously, dude. We'll have to hang out later. I'm gonna miss you during school. He offered Cove a high five and the two boys clapped their hands together. Men are so weird with how they greet each other, dude. Like, obviously, I know they're probably not gonna give each other a hug, but, like, I don't know. You ever see men greet each other? It's like, I sit there and I'm like, y'all are fucking weird. But I don't know, maybe they think women are weird how we just, like, always hug. That's just me. I always hug my friends, but, like, I don't, seeing guys greet each other, they're always like, what's up, bro? I'm like, oh, okay. It's, like, so aggressive, the way they, like, slap each other on the back. I'm like, God damn. Y'all can chill for a little bit. Holy shit. Cove and his dad soon left after that. Your parents started to clean up the house, and Elizabeth was still chatting with her friends on the phone. It was just you and Derek left. You elected to stay out in front of the house to wait for his dad to pick him up. You decided to keep your guest company, although he was originally Cove's visitor. A light summer breeze blew through your hair, and Derek shifted his weight from foot to foot. Thanks for waiting with me. He kicked the ground distractedly.
Well,
Dad's still gonna be a while. Do you want to go for a walk? Sure, I don't mind. The two of you walked down the street again, just wandering without a destination planned. It was a quiet stroll, too quiet for Derek being the company. You turned to him when you noticed that he wasn't saying a word. That was unusual. Derek always had something he'd chat about. You weren't sure what you should ask about. Somehow you ended up at the old park near the beach. You glanced over to Derek once more, still expecting him to say something any second now. However, nothing came from him. In fact, you now noticed a frown creeping on his face. Derek smiled when he realized you were watching. At least his mouth was turned up. There wasn't anything that really felt happy in the expression. He turned away, and the smile fell off his face. His eyes stared intently at the ground, and you raised an eyebrow. Yeah, if you ever want to talk about something, we're here. I'm a little sad. It's just with school starting back up again, it's going to be hard to visit. I'm going to have homework and clubs and practices and everything else.
sucks.
It sucks, we go to different schools. Oh my god. His face screwed up, and his fists were tightly closed together. This was really concerning him. What if we don't have time? Yeah. We'll make time. We can talk over the phone and have plans for weekends. It'll be okay. Derek looked up at the sky. It was orange and purple with little wisps of clouds scattering around. A plane flew high with a jet stream trailing behind it. Then he turned to the ground again. Derek's face was tilted far enough down that it was harder to read his expression. Hey, I actually want to talk to you about something if you don't mind. Oh no. Uh-oh. There was a pause and he waited for him to finish his thought.
Sorry.
I was kind of wondering, do you like guys at all? Like, would you ever want to be with somebody who was a boy? Sorry if that's weird to ask. Yeah, I agree with Guy. Okay, then. Wait, what did I do? No! Ah. No! He hesitated before finishing his question.
So,
This makes me so sad. He likes her, but she likes Cope. No! 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 We're gonna have to break this kid's heart. He's so sweet, too. Oh. What I mean is, just, are there any guys you think is kind of cool, like, around here? Not at school or anything like that. He ducked his head further. You thought about it. You can like him? But Cove's the only love interest from what I read. There are lots of guys I think are cool. Derek shrugged and then started to mumble and wonder. Maybe you don't get what I'm trying to ask. Derek pulled himself together somewhat meekly. He looked at you while he tried to project confidence. His posture was too tight for you to believe it. He was nervous.
alright.
Oh. You know, thinking ahead and everything is important. You've got to get yourself a game plan and all that. It's good to make plans, especially backup plans. He babbled, all full of energy and forced gusto. Well, anyways, I heard about this thing where people make pacts with their good friends. That if they don't find anyone else, they get together. Together, like they get married and stuff. So I was thinking, since it's good to have plans, it might be cool if we did something like that. His eyes widened and he started to make a frantic hand gesture. Oh, just, you know. Then we'd never have to worry about the future of finding someone. We can set it like a whole decade in the future, forever from now. We'd have graduated high school and probably college too. We'd have jobs and be really grown up. I mean, we'd probably have our own places and maybe our own pets and student loans and cars. Sir, you're too young to worry about that. Derek babbled on a little more. It was as if all the words he had held in during the silence of your walk had burst out now all at once. So yeah, what do you think? Oh, I don't know. We like Cove. And I feel bad. I don't want to lead little homie on. Do you like me is a wild question to go with. Okay, I think it's a good idea.
Really?
Oh. I mean, if Cove doesn't work out, then sure, but Cove's gonna work out, so we'll just find Derek another sweet lady. Derek brightened significantly and started to bounce excitedly on the balls of his feet.
Okay.
Let's do it. Oh, he held out his hand, offering a shake. Officially, he repeated the terms of the deal. In 10 years, if I, Derek Suarez, am still single, and if in 10 years, you are still single, we both agree that the two of us will get together. He took his hand and shook it firmly as Derek beamed.
It's a deal.
Thanks, I feel better about the future already. I guess it's working out. No, I feel bad for little homie now. No. He laughed and scratched the back of his head. You can tell he was giddy about this, and you felt happy too. No. You didn't spend much longer at the park after that. Derek didn't want to miss his dad, so you both made your way back to your street. Derek's steps forward seemed lighter than before. No. After Derek went home, you decided to settle in for the night. Stretching your arms over your head, you noticed that the living room and the phone were free. We'll take it easy. You flopped onto the couch and wiggled until you were in your position just right. And you knew when it was perfect because all the exhaustion from the day started fading away. Sighing contentedly, you were pleased with this end to the day. Looking at the clock on the wall, you saw that it was only about 10 minutes until your moms would be insisting you had to go to bed so you could be rested enough for school. You stretched your legs out on the couch and sighed in defeat, watching the minute hand change 1 minute closer to bedtime. You rearranged yourself, feeling restless, and looked out the window. Startled initially, you spotted a figure out on the hills. It was Cove. When the surprise faded, you realized it really wasn't much of a shock at all. It was exactly something Cove would do. We'll meet up with him. Strolling casually, you went over to the front door. Oh, when you arrived, you noticed how many fireflies were out that night. They drifted along lazily, barely minding your presence as you waded through to reach the top of the hill. Cove turned around as soon as you approached, and you noticed right away that Cove looked happy to see you. Hey. You had a bounce in your step. You weren't sure how long you had before your moms roped you back inside before bed. What are you doing out here?
Nothing.
No. He shrugged, seeming unhappy with his own answer. You stared at him, waiting for him to continue. Guess I'm kind of feeling weird about stuff, so I'm getting some fresh air before bed. I know how you feel. It's hard to stay still. Tomorrow is going to be the start of a new year. At the mention of school, a small noise escaped him. Cove let himself fall back onto his butt, and then all the way down, so he was laying on his back. He looked up at the sky. We'll lay down. You lowered yourself to lay back on the hill. He had been lost in thought, or was possibly waiting for you to situate yourself, but he started speaking unpromptly again.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry for being kind of awkward when my mom was leaving. Surprised, you stared at him for a moment. You weren't expecting that. I just wanted you to know that I talked to my dad about how I felt and things. It's okay now. Oh. You were genuinely glad to hear that, and it brought a small smile to your face, but your thoughts quickly wandered back to the day you first met Holden. Mr. Holden. Whoop. Did his dad confess about that? From the way Cove talked, you guess he hadn't. There was so much more Cove and his dad should talk about, but it was a relief to know that they had made a start. Now was not a good time to bring up what you were thinking, though. You could wait a little longer to say it. It was almost unbelievable how much of an impact he had made on your life just by moving in next door. You couldn't even imagine what your days might have looked like in a world where you hadn't met him. Cove glanced back at you, waiting for a response, and you had no idea what to say. Cove just stared at you unblinkingly. What? It's you. Huh? Oh my lord. He snickered before answering. You looked thoroughly amused with your reaction. That's what you do all the time, so I'm being you. Oh. You were stunned, he noticed. He took notice. There was no response to that you could give, but you noticed Cove was still smiling softly at you. He wasn't trying to be mean with it. Honestly, there weren't many people that you could think of who could tease you about something like that. Returning his smile, you realized there was no denying that you two had been around each other for a long time. Cove broke the quiet before it could fully settle.
See you tomorrow.
Aw, I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, see you then. With a final wave, Cove headed back home, but you stayed up there for a few minutes longer. Your mind kept going back to a simple statement, see you tomorrow. No matter how much was changing around you, there were always some things in your life that seemed to remain true. The hills felt warm to you that night. Before you knew it, you were getting comfortable under the covers in your room. Your mind couldn't help but still be buzzing with thoughts about the future. You felt excited. There was little doubt in your mind that things were moving forward, and you couldn't wait to find out what changes were waiting for you on the horizon. Slowly, your eyes grew heavy as you drifted to sleep, your mind spinning with wishful thoughts. No matter what happened next, you could always hope that you would make the most of it. You were ensnared in a dream when a noise from the outside world jostled you. Oh. The light clatter continued. Now that you were more alert, you could distinguish that it was a tapping sound. Quiet, slow, but persistent. Each beat was like being poked. You couldn't ignore it. You lifted your head from the pillow and looked at the source. Or looked for the source. Not much work was needed to puzzle it out. It was from the window. With that, you knew exactly what it was. From the color of the light filtering into your room, it was too early for anyone to be awake, including the sun. It had barely hauled itself over the horizon, but it didn't stop some people, it seemed. You sat up in bed, opened the window out wide. Cool air, not yet warm by the day, tickled your face as you pushed into your room. Good lord. And just as you expected, there was your neighbor crouching on the windowsill. He was fully dressed, though not for school. No. He's wearing a wetsuit and a fond smile. Hi. You stared back, blinking. So technically, we won't be back to school for a few more hours. His voice was delicate yet deliberate. Each word was a careful explanation. Classes haven't actually started yet, so you want to hit the beach with me one more time before the summer? Oh. Always. His smile widened affectionately. No. You rushed down to get changed into something suitable while Cove climbed back down to the ground level. Your limbs, still half asleep, struggled somewhat as you attempted to coordinate them into a swimsuit. But you got there in the end. Soon you were tiptoeing out your front door, clutching a towel. Cove was already there to greet you. Your eyes met. Cove's gaze started to your destination and back to you. You checked the door was closed, gave him a thumbs up, and the two of you leaped into action. Wordlessly, you began to run down the familiar path ahead, Cove beside you. The thrill of your illicit outing made you want to laugh. Not that you dared. If anyone in your family looked out and saw you, then your summer would be back to being over. One glance at Cove told you that he was exactly the same, holding back snickers for fear of being heard and caught. The towel streamed out from under your arm like a cape. You were running so fast downhill that simply keeping your balance and not tumbling down was a real threat. It just wasn't enough that one of you... Oh my god. Holy shit, what time is it? Yeah, that's why I can't talk. It just wasn't enough of one to make you slow your pace. What the fuck? It just wasn't enough of one to make you slow your pace. For every step you took, the beach was a little closer and the day a little brighter. That hurt my head. I don't know why. I'm getting there, man. I'm getting sleepy. What lay ahead of you would arrive, and you were happy to meet it. Oh shit. In between. Okay. So let's see. The buns are cute. That's cute, I guess. Oh my god, you gonna put acne on it? That's crazy work. Not braces. Oh, we'll do pink. Nose ring. My god, you can add nose rings. No fucking way. My life just got better. I always had long nails. He's definitely a crush. Yeah. Yep. Oh my god. We're fucked. We're fucked. This is where we start to grow up? No. Do we dig that hairstyle? I kind of dig that though. My boy. You want that hair or that hair? Sure, I guess. Sure, I guess. We can't have him have like short hair and then not have long, you know what I mean? Oh, it just changes colors? Okay. Sure. Formal. We get a formal wear? Oh, shit. I'll read that. Since you're romantically interested in Cove and you are old enough to start being physically affectionate more seriously, you can choose what initiative level he has throughout this step. Making sure the player experiences what they want is important in our life, but always putting your choice first can potentially make a relationship feel one-sided. So we've decided to add some flexibility to how it works. Low initiative means that Cove will occasionally ask to touch the MC, and in those situations there will always be an opportunity to say yes or no. I love that. I love that. Low initiative means... Oh god, I just read that. Holy fucking shit. For example, he won't simply lean over and kiss the MC as a greeting or an emotional moment. Every piece of physical interaction will either be initiated or approved by the player before it happens. The consent is amazing. I love that. Middle initiative means there will be those certain times when Cove requests to touch the MC, many chances to initiate affection on your own, and he will also be pretty regularly give affection automatically. One example would be giving the MC a kiss because he's happy or emotional or something else. In other situations, you can choose to not make the first move in order to give Cove the space to be the one to act afterwards. Overall, the love interest can get romantic, but the player's agency will take the opportunity. High initiative includes everything middle does, but it also means that the player agency will be reduced to a degree in favor of having Cove give physical affection even more frequently and less prompting. Oh, this is mostly relevant if Cove ends up as your official boyfriend at some point. Oh. We can do like the middle initiative. Let's not give it too much, you know what I mean? Alright. I think I'm gonna save here. We're not gonna start it yet. We'll start the new one later. I promise. I know. We can continue. Oh. I'm so sorry. We can start it at a later date. But, yeah. That's where we're gonna end it. We've already been live for like 2.5 hours, bro. And I just wanted to get through their, awkward teen phase. We did childhood, preteen, and then now we're doing the teenage, and then we can do the adult. So, we're at the third stage in their life now. We're still planting the seeds. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I had fun. This was fun, even though I could barely fucking read today. Sorry about that. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. I just can't talk for the life of me. But I will not be here tomorrow. I have a dinner that I'm going to and a birthday to celebrate, so I won't be here tomorrow, but I will be here, what's tomorrow, Tuesday? Yeah, so I'll be here Wednesday, but I won't be here tomorrow. I'll be busy, hanging out and taking a night off, so yeah, which I think is much earned. I haven't had a night off since what? I don't even remember. I don't know. I think it's nice to have like a night or two off every so often when I stream. It's kind of deserved. This is still like I work all day and then I do this, so it's still extra things to do. And I need a break every now and again. So tomorrow I'm taking my break. But with that being said, I will see you guys on Wednesday. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Bye-bye.